Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the GDPSports High School Football Broadcast. Tonight's game is brought to you by the following sponsors. Frost, more than a century of serving Texans and now in the Frost Tower. Central Builders, the Ehrlich family is dedicated to the construction industry with coast-to-coast projects. The law firm of Thomas J. Henry, open 24 hours with legal experts on call. John Lester's Insure One, providing Texans with home and auto protection. By Randolph Brooks Federal Credit Union, a credit union that puts people before profits. By APIA Connected Investors, Shannon DeLaune, providing insurance for real estate investors. BCFS, a beacon of hope for families around the world. REMAX, by Chris Collins, buying or selling that dream home in the real estate world. GPS of Texas, peace of mind for all drivers with installed tracking devices. Dr. Eric Kuhl, providing that $1 million smile with a future of dental health. By Gridiron Heroes, dedicated to assisting young men suffering from football-related spinal cord injuries. Cherry Hills Baptist Church, where the Lord provides the football field for eternity. By Mecca Sportswear, supplying the leather jacket of pride for your school and sport. Eagle Print, where San Antonians take their printing for quality and satisfaction since 1974. Also brought to you by one name that stands out in the San Antonio rental car business, Budget Car and Truck Rental on Sandow Road just east of 281 North. And good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Global Warning Stadium this evening to our 2019 inaugural of the National Sport of Texas. Of course, that's high school football. From our visual vantage point at Scenic Hero Stadium here, off of Wurzbach Parkway, we open our new football season with fun, fanfare, and falderall as the Johnson Jaguars of Coach Ron Ritterman host the city's second-ranked Express New Selection, the Brandeis Broncos, coached by David Branscombe. I'm Gary DeLaune, of course, and we welcome you to our new campaign on GDP Sports on Facebook, as this season marks my 60th season behind the mark and the mic, and a few other things, transmitting what I hope has been factual, entertaining, and informative description of these young gladiators of the gridiron who played this contest of pride, spirit, and attitude. Throughout the numerous seasons, it has been my honor and privilege to work with some of the best broadcasters and experts who have carried my baggage to dozens of stadiums throughout the state and even throughout the nation, verbally transforming the action on the turf below. Tonight, my press box associates are former police captain Mark Witherell, now head of security for VIA, longtime journalist Charles Vickers, retired banker and expert statistician Walter Stoops, biblical scholar and master electronic engineer Rob Hicks, and Lieutenant Colonel Arnold, who will be joining us at various times throughout the season, the retired colonel, and the neophyte purveyor of action and humor, Alamo Heights senior Chase Cooper Hawley. The weather forecast for tonight's game is for another evening of sweat-producing climate and a typical August environment, producing a banner request for liquid refreshment. It's football time in Texas, my friends, and our new broadcast outlet, Facebook GDP Sports, which means Gary DeLaune Sports Productions. We'll hear from Chase Hawley, the state's youngest play-by-play announcer, along with Mark and Charles and the coaches when we return. This is Frost High School Football on GDP Sports.
We expect a lot from the teams we give our loyalty to. We expect them to play through the pain, leave it on the field, and give 110%, even though that's impossible. Yet when it comes to the banks we give our money to, we expect less than we do of the backup punter. At Frost, we want to change the way you think about banks entirely by never stopping when it comes to giving you our very best. And if you need to armchair quarterback us sometime, go for it. It'll only make us better. See what you can expect at frostbank.com/expectmore.
APIA specializes in real estate investor insurance. For years, investors have struggled managing individual insurance policies. So APIA built a program to put investors' properties under one insurance policy. They've been helping investors save time and improve cash flow nationwide since 2001. APIA has the flexibility to meet the unique demands of both investors and financial institutions. Call in the real estate asset protection experts today, www.apiaprotects.com, or call 877-752-2742.
While some banks are slow to approve auto loans, RBFCU is hitting the gas. With one of San Antonio's lowest loan rates and fast online approval, you'll have more time and money to live life your way. Apply today at rbfcu.org. Subject to credit approval, rates and terms subject to change. Other restrictions may apply. Better rates. It's what we do at RBFCU.
We're back at Hero Stadium in the hot, blazing summer of August and nearly September. Tonight, two good football teams in the initial contest for the 2019 football season. According to the Express News, the Broncos of Brandeis are ranked second in the city behind the top-rated Judson Rockets. The young Broncos of David Branscombe were 11-3 last year, going to semifinal round of the postseason, and they returned the nucleus of that team, while coach Ron Ritterman of the Johnson Jaguars were 7-4 and lost in the first round, and they are not ranked in the top 10 for the 2019 season. In the Bronco Corral, one of the top young quarterbacks in South Texas, junior Jordan Battles, who led the offense last year, scored 18 of his 39 touchdowns with his quick, fleet feet, timed at 4.5 seconds in the 40-yard sprint. Champion pedestal. He is 6 feet, 170 pounds, and still growing. He has a huge offensive line to provide the blocks and protection, anchored by Angel Lopez, almost as big as any Texas Bronco at 6'2", 250 pounds. On defense, Brandeis is led by Alex Trevino and John Rainey. Both are college prospects. For the Jaguars, it is a rebuilding season, but Coach Ron Ritterman also has an experienced field general, junior Ty Reasoner, who is only 5'8", 160 pounds, but he is also as quick as a hungry Jaguar with 4.5 speed as well. The Jags lost 6 starters on offense and 8 on defense, so they have some real challenges in the first few games. Justin Rodriguez is 5'7", 190 pounds, with 4.5 speed also, and he scored 19 touchdowns and gained more than 1,700 yards rushing. Defensive giant Brandon Brown is 6'2", 255, and you can't move him out unless you have a big bulldozer. Johnson lost in by-district last year, so it will be a challenge for Coach Ron Ritterman and his staff. A steamy Texas night with heat, humidity, and hurrahs here at Hero Stadium on this opening night of the 2000 football season. We'll hear from Mark Witherall and the coaches when we return. You are listening to Frost High School Football.
Hard work, dedication, commitment. Qualities that are found on a winning football team and qualities that you should look for in a contractor. Central Builders has conducted their businesses by these qualities for 25 years. The dedication has resulted in coast-to-coast clients who aim to build, remodel, and restore their large and small businesses. Many school districts and grocery chains, such as H-E-B, have selected CBI as their first string to implement and improve existing structures as well. Call CBI 210-590-0235.
Welcome back to Hero Stadium. Mark Witherall along with the broadcast crew for Gary DeLaune Sports here at Hero Stadium, where I would say it's hot, but that's an understatement. As y'all have known from the summer we've been going through, what happened to that rain we were all complaining about in June, and now it's high school football season. That doesn't matter if it's autumn or summer, spring or fall. We're trying to make sure that you understand we love this time of year. As Chase was saying, the Johnson Jaguars are led by Coach Ron Ritterman. In his campaign last year, the team came out 7 wins and 4 losses. They're returning 5 offensive starters and 3 defensive starters. So talking to Coach Ritterman in a little bit, we'll go to the starting lineup for his offense. At center, number 76 is Evan Malieu. Right guard is number 58, Mario Jimenez. 54 is the right tackle. That's Eric Borneo. Tight end is number 7, Cataris Sanders. The left guard is Kevin Benjamin, 5'7", number 57, 5'11", 196. Number 68 is Will Huntsinger. He's a 6'3", 250-pound left tackle. Split end is number 1, Jaron Randall. Ty Reasoner, the quarterback for the Johnson Jags. He's going to be handing it off to Justin Rodriguez, number 21. The receiver on the other side is going to be Shane Johnson, number 3, and a fullback opening the holes will be number 6, Elvin Simpson. Coach Ron Ritterman had a chance to break away from his pregame warm-ups and talk with Gary, so let's go to that interview.
Okay, 3, 2.
Coach Ron Ritterman, my goodness sakes, what a great opening night. You got the second highest ranked team in San Antonio, and you guys are trying to rebuild. But if we had Harry Reasoner, he could say, reporting for CBS News instead of Time. But you're going to have a heck of a challenge tonight.
We are, and that's by design, Gary. We always want to get the best teams we can in our non-district schedule because the hope is that we come out and play at a very high level. But Brandeis, because they're so talented and well coached, they're going to point out any weakness we have. And we got to get all these fixed before we start district in 3 weeks.
And the key, of course, on a night like this is, of course, you've got a pretty good breeze, which is going to cool things down a little bit. But Greg said last night it's 120 on the field over at Ferris Stadium.
I believe it. The turf, it gets a little bit warmer, and we've had the last 3 weeks of really high temperature. Our kids have handled it very well, and I'm sure theirs have too. If you grow up in South Central Texas, you're going to play warm football in August and September. And our guys have handled it really well. And we're just, it's more about the adrenaline and the speed of the game, and that's what we got to get ready for in the first quarter. We
know that you depend a lot on Rodriguez. What a great little ball carrier he is. Well, 5'8", 190 pounds. That's not real little, but it's stocky. What is Coleman used to call him, a stodgy bodgy or something like that, But anyway, and then, of course, Ty is your key. And you've got 2 junior quarterbacks going out to battle tonight, so to speak.
Well, Ty's done a great job and has really stepped up for us and had a great summer and first 3 weeks of fall camp. But he's got some really nice weapons around him. Both of our running backs we feel are really strong, Justin Rodriguez and Elvin Simpson. And you'll see both those guys carrying the ball tonight. And then we've got 2 receivers on the outside that we feel are really talented, Shane Johnson and Jaron Randall, who have big play potential every time they touch it.
Being a former all-conference quarterback for the Bobcats of a bygone era, how has the game changed?
Well, I think the speed of the game is a lot different, and obviously the size of these high school guys is a lot different. The high school game really does mirror the college game of years ago, and so it's always fun and exciting, and the talent level is probably a little bit deeper these days. So it's just fun to watch 2 good teams get after it, and that's what we're excited about.
Let me say this, though. Being a quarterback on those great teams under Coach O'Hara, we don't have any strutters out here tonight.
No. Well, I can promise you the Johnson Jaguars will bring a very talented band, spirit group, dance team, cheerleaders. We've got it all, and they'll be here, Gary.
Good luck to you tonight and the rest of the way, and you're going to be on our agenda, buddy.
Thank you. We appreciate it, and we appreciate everything that you do for high school football.
Coach Ron Ritterman of the Johnson Jaguars. We'll be back. You're listening to Frost High School Football.
Hey, we are back, Gary, and we literally are back down on the sidelines. First time in a year, thanks to James Fulmer at Sam Ash Music. We appreciate the donation of the equipment, and we look forward to being down here and reporting from down here the rest of the year. It's actually pretty nice down here, considering how hot it's been all summer. We have a nice breeze, and that'll be a little bit beneficial for the players, and the shade has almost covered the whole field, so it's not too bad.
Mentioned earlier is that breeze blowing. Looks like it's coming out of the north, coming across the field, but also one of the things we're looking at is the flags, and those flags are flying at half-staff tonight in honor of one of the most influential and well-known ladies in San Antonio history, and it's Lila Cockrell, who passed away recently. Former mayor, former ambassador, but more than anything, just a lover of San Antonio.
Yeah, she was a charmer, and I got to do a nice long interview with her when Gary and I were working together, actually at News 9. And just a really pleasant lady to work with and talk with, and she certainly did a lot for the city of San Antonio.
Yeah, she wore the love of San Antonio on her sleeve, and San Antonio is just a part of the state, just like high school football is a part of the state as well. And Brandeis is coming in tonight, expected to do really well this season. Coach David Branscombe has got his Broncos, after a slow start last year, 3 losses in district. They qualified for the playoffs in the 4th round, and as Chase was saying, then they went on a run, beating Churchill and 2 more teams before they ran into that Westlake juggernaut in the playoffs. Their starting offensive line from left to right is number 58, Branson Gallegos. Number 55 is Jose Piejo. Number 53 is Alex Martinez playing the center spot tonight. 77 is Tomas Mati, the right guard, and the right tackle is Angel Lopez, number 70. They run a tight end alignment. 89, Chris Bowen is back on the sideline, as well as number 12, Joshua Suarez, as one split end. Alex Palomino is their wingback, as well as number 3, Corey Ann Holmes, their fullback. Jordan Battles is that talented junior quarterback, 6 foot 180 with a rocket arm and rocket legs to go on top of that. The running back is number 21, Jay Randall. So Coach Branscombe spoke to Gary DeLaune down there on that hot field before the game.
All right, 3, 2.
Coach David Branscombe, the pressure's on. Not only does he have the second-ranked team in the city, but one of the best teams in the state, coming in against a team that's kind of untested because they've lost a lot of players. But Ron Ritterman always has the Jaguars ready to play. We know you're going to have a tough task tonight.
There's no question that we know what we're getting with Ron Ritterman and the Johnson Jaguars. We're going to get some smart football played with some smart football players and good athletes that are coached well every year. So it's a great test for us every year. I love the tradition of the two schools opening the same year and playing the first game. I think we need to keep that going as long as we can, because we find out a lot about ourselves as a football team based on the quality of our opponent and the Johnson Jaguars.
You've done a great job for this great tradition that you're developing over at Brandeis, and of course named after such a great Chief Justice. But you were influenced in early life, one by your dad, who was a man of God, and then you played for Pete Fredenberg, and of course Corky Nelson came into the picture too.
Amen. Amen. Yeah, you just don't know how much those things mean to you until you put yourself in a position where you have to fight, to work, to be successful in those intangibles that they taught you. And can't be more thankful for my upbringing and the men that molded me, because they wouldn't allow you to make mistakes, or they wouldn't allow you to make excuses for those mistakes. They just wanted to find the best in you. They'd build relationships with you outside of there to raise your expectations, and that's what coaching is. So I think I got some real good examples of the things that I wanted to be passionate about in coaching from those guys.
It seems that in today's society, particularly in the young teenagers or even the college-age kids, they've lost a lot of that because they're not people like you, David, who want to pass on the message that you were given and handed down. So you have a tough task not only to coach football, but just to coach young people in the game of life.
There's no question about it. And I think with everything we do in life, things change, and you either learn to adapt and get better. We actually watched the documentary on ESPN about the 150 year anniversary, and it talks about the olden days with the dictator and where the Nick Sabans are, and the coach from Ohio State, where they are in today's society, and how kids, based on the information that they have, that they want to know why something's important, and they've got to be told. And so, I think we're fortunate at Brandeis to have a great community of kids that are raised right, just like Johnson. And so that makes it easy, but we still fight those battles in what things look like to them and what it needs to look like to be a great team and to be a team of destiny. And that core group that's unselfish is the hardest thing we battle against all over the state of Texas and in the United States.
Well, you, my young friend, are providing a nucleus for the future, and I thank you for it. And thank you for being able to coach such a great organization as the Brandeis football team.
I appreciate that very much. It's great to talk to a living legend, too. So you guys have a great night, and make sure you say some nice things about the Brandeis Broncos. Go Broncos.
Okay, listen, back in the saddle again, buddy.
Amen.
Good to see you.
Have a good night.
David Branscombe, the coach of the Brandeis Broncos.
According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, more than 100 Americans die each day in traffic crashes, and thousands more are injured. If you were injured in a car crash, call Thomas J. Henry. Thomas J. Henry handles serious auto accident cases and gets serious results for injured clients. Start your free claim today at tjhlaw.com/radio. That's tjhlaw.com/radio.
San Antonio, Texas.
Back at Hero Stadium with the rest of the Gary DeLaune Productions football crew. This is Mark Witherell coming to you live for pregame of the Johnson Jaguars versus the Brandeis Broncos. A little while ago, Chase, they had the coin toss. If you'd go over, throw those names out there for the captains.
For the Johnson Jaguars, the captains are as follows: Jaron Randall, Justin Rodriguez, Colton Lee, and Brandon Brown. And for the Brandeis Broncos, we had Josh Suarez, Caleb Pronk, Alec Martinez, and Alec Trevino.
So the referees and the officials wearing the hats tonight. The referee is Charlie Wernett. The umpire, Charles Salinas. The umpire can't get mad at the head linesman, who is Charles Salinas Jr. And the line judge is Darren Harden. Back judge is Charles Marquardt. The field judge is Roland Wiseman, and the side judge is Jeff Spence. The toss of the coin went to Brandeis, who deferred to the second half, and that means Johnson will start off on offense coming from the north end of the field, going left to right. And this new thing of Facebook and cameras and all this other kind of stuff, I'm off my game a little bit, Chase. Like I said, I don't think this internet thing is here to stay. I think it's like a flash in the pan. What do you think?
Let me interject here. Mark is looking good.
Oh no,
Mark's looking handsome. He's got his TV face going on.
No, absolutely not.
Mark's in fit shape. He's lost some weight, and he's ready for this.
Well, we were told last year that we were pound for pound the best group around, but we got Rob and I, didn't know this as without doing it together. We would have had a competition. I still would have lost. That's how good it is. But we decided we're going to just go ahead and do some weight loss and be more photogenic, because we couldn't be on the radio or on camera with Gary and not,
Between the two of us, we've lost an entire person.
It's too big an event. The 60th year, it's just too big an event for us to, you'd have a wide angle lens on us, and it wasn't right.
Sideline equipment donated by James Fulmer over at Sam Ash. That's the music store. And next time you need any music gear, go see James and tell him that Gary and Rob and a crew sent you, because they're going to get a heck of a deal over there. So have we given the starting lineups yet?
Yes, sir, we sure have.
Well, of course, we are saddened today with the passing of a wonderful lady and former mayor of San Antonio, Mrs. Lida Cockrell, who died at age 97. She got to the city 2 times and was a tremendous leader as the first woman mayor of a major city in the United States when she was elected. And, of course, we have another ceremony tomorrow honoring the late Jim Cullum, one of the best trumpet cornet players in the nation, and the best that San Antonio's ever heard. Another death has saddened me as well, the passing of 99-year-old Jim Lavelle, a friend of mine, and for more than a half century, he has been a tremendous influence in the law enforcement community in Dallas. He died in Colorado Wednesday night after fracturing his hip at his daughter's home. I attended his birthday party just last Friday in Dallas, and we shared a lot of great memories, and he continued to rag on me about my days in the police department when I worked at KLIF News. His services are set tentatively for next Saturday in Dallas, and you can rest assured that I will be there. Rest in peace, Lila and Jim and Jim. I'm Gary DeLaune, and we want to thank you for being with us on our new concept in total broadcasting. It's fantastic, Chase, and we know you're probably more familiar with all this kind of stuff, you and Rob, than anybody else on our crew. But it's something new for me, and by golly, it looks like it's going to be fun, Mark.
I don't know what to do. I don't know whether to, stand up or sit down or wind my watch. I mean, I just look at it as I'm going to keep my head down, and I just hope my face doesn't break the camera. That's all I've been told.
Are you kidding me? You're gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
You look very good. And going back to that point, I am very familiar with all this Facebook live streaming, and there's a thing called TikTok now where you record your videos and you just post them for thousands and thousands of people to see. And I think it's a good thing. You always have to try new things. If you don't try the new thing, then you'll never know. So you might as well try it, and if you don't like it, well, then you can always revert back to what you've always known.
Well, for 59 years, I did the old thing. So I guess on the 60th, I can do it. I want to thank Walter Soups for being with us tonight, too. And by the way, next week we'll have the Smithson Valley game with Madison here in San Antonio. That's Thursday night. And Friday night we're going to be taking a trip down memory lane, Mark. We're going down to Alamo Stadium for the Lee game against the Brackenridge Eagles.
Oh, it's just amazing that we have so early in the season these kind of games. And, you know, we're talking about 2 playoff teams last year playing in non-district this year, and then going down to a very venerable, historic stadium like Alamo Stadium just to, turn back the clock on a Lee Brackenridge game is pretty impressive.
If I have studied correctly, I believe it is the second largest high school stadium in the state. Even though they've built new ones at McKinney, which was the newest in the state, the most expensive in the state, mega millions, and then, of course, Allen, Texas, and, of course, there are some others. But Alamo Stadium, with its renovation and restoration, is just a magnificent structure for football, and we'll be there next Friday night. Well, Chase and I will be sharing the play-by-play, and Mark and Charles will be giving us their expert opinions, and Walt will be giving us all the stats that you can compile. And we hope you enjoy it. Brandeis High School, named, of course, after Louis Dembitz Brandeis. Of course, it was the 9th high school in the Northside Independent School District, and opened in 2008-2009. Louis D. Brandeis was born in Kentucky in 1856. Went to Harvard Law School, and he was appointed in 1916 to the Supreme Court by President Woodrow Wilson. And then, of course, Lady Bird Johnson. She was born in Karnak, Texas, and her name was Lydia Claudia Johnson, and Karnak, Texas was her home. Of course, she was the great First Lady who started the plan called Beautify Texas. And actually what she did, she wrote an 800-page White House diary. She remained active, of course, in beautification projects and women's rights issues. She died back in 2007, and I had met her a couple of times. Just a lovely, lovely woman. So we are at Windswept right now anyway. Hero Stadium here off Wurzbach Parkway, and the color guard for the very regimented and extraordinary performing color guard of the Johnson Jaguars. And here come the Brandeis Broncos on the field. They are wearing their white travel uniforms with the blue stripes and the orange helmets. Their official colors are blue and orange over in Brandeis land. And, of course, the Johnson Jags will be wearing their 2 different shades of blue tonight. Dark blue matching our crew shirts, and light blue football pants. And they are easy to read, Walter, so thank for that, all right? Yep. So we welcome you to GDP Sports on the internet. And we will be, I guess this is going around the world, right, Rob? That's unbelievable. Rob told me that we had over 300 hits before we even took to the air. Wow. I don't have that many relatives.
No, you don't.
You must have paid a lot of people more than I knew, because I only paid like 20 people. No. Real quick before the color guard gets out there, Gary, some scores from last night. Churchill beat Clark 19-0 in the annual Chili Bowl, in the annual Gucci Bowl. The Chili Bowl didn't exist.
Yeah.
MacArthur shut out Marshall 23-0. Southside 25-0 over Corpus Christi Moody. 2 overtimes later, Burbank 20, Pearsall 14, and Sam Houston fell to Fredericksburg 35-26.
And Katy upset North Shore last night over in Houston. Came from behind to do it. Coach Joseph had a halftime strategy. They were down 21-7 at halftime and came back to win. And, of course, he always has a great team with the Tigers, I'll tell you that. We ask you now to join us, ladies and gentlemen, for, to me, the greatest song on the World Hit Parade. It's called The Star Spangled Banner. Star Spangled Banner, everybody.
Of the high school football season. The bands, all the pep squad, they were all out there in that hot sun practicing just as hard as those football players, and it's just nice to get everybody in the stadium. Everybody's ready for the same thing, that football getting up in the air for the first time.
And we see that the Johnson Band is wearing a summer-like attire, which is good.
The Broncos aren't. They're sitting in the sun right now.
Yeah, they sure are. Yeah, they're wearing the orange and blue. You're right.
For them.
And look at the young ladies who in the pep squad that look like they're sweltering already.
I don't blame them.
You can see the reflection off the tubas as that sunshine hits them right in the eye. So we are ready, my friends. It is unbelievable. This has been a fantastically fast year since the last game we did in 2018. And Chase, I look back in the files, and you started working with me in 2013.
2013,
as
really?
a spotter. And now you're doing some of the play-by-play, so boy, did you graduate in a hurry.
I did graduate in a hurry. I've made my way up through the ranks. I started at spotting, and then I did a little bit of sideline, and then I was up here helping you, and then eventually I was on to play-by-play. And you've helped me along the way. You're really good at it. You're better than me. I try to be as good as you, but I don't think I ever will.
I'm going to let you prove that, and you're going to take the opening kickoff here with. You got the two returning guys for the Jags.
Those two returning guys are Jaron Randall and Shane Johnson. Jaron Randall, 6'3", 160 senior. He's returning. He's a really good receiver. And Shane Johnson's also a really good receiver as well. And the kicker is going to kick it off, and it's a boot kick. It's going about down to the 25. It's caught. And Justin Rodriguez has it, and he is pummeled by about 5 Brandeis Broncos for getting down to the 22-yard line.
Xavier Lopez had kicked with a tricky wind in the atmosphere.
That wind is blowing very strongly. It's who both
Ty Reisner is at quarterback. Long count. Handoff outside up to the line of scrimmage, and that's Randall on the end around, and he didn't get very far. No gain at all. And making the stop, numero uno. That's Aiden Ines Rodriguez, 5'8", 150, a sophomore. No gain.
This Brandeis Broncos defense is going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, both of these teams run a 3-4 D. And they're running from an unbalanced line, and now you have a man in motion. Here's the fake to Rodriguez, and he has it, and he crosses to the 25, 26, and he goes down after 3-yard pickup. And at the bottom of that stack is one of the leading tacklers coming back, and that is Joshua Green, 5'10", 215 junior, a 5-yard gain, 3rd and 5. The average weight across that down 3, 230 pounds. The offensive line average is 229 for the Jaguars, so they're pretty evenly matched muscle-wise. Now you have Randall coming out wide right, double wide, and you have 2 wide left. Now you have man in motion. Here's the fake and the handoff, and it's a first down, and a great play, great dive, and it is again Justin Rodriguez, a gain of 6 with that 4.6 speed. He had 28 touchdowns last year, 1,743 rushing yards.
That's got to be a good pickup as well as a good perk for the Johnson offense to get out there against this great Brandeis defense and get a first down first.
And now you got a double wide out set to the right with Randall as the wide receiver. Single set left. It's 1st and 10. at the 33-yard line. Back to pass. It's Reisner. Incomplete. There's a
batted down.
Nice bat away.
Yeah, that was Joshua Green right there in the middle of the defensive line. He could not get to the quarterback, but put his hands up and was able to swat that ball down from Reisner's arm.
Ron Ritterman in his 11th year, 80 and 46 in those 17 years with Jim Street at Madison before he came to Jagland. Now you have again Randall goes out wide with Shane Johnson. Come back, Shane. No, he's over there. That's all right. Trip set to the left. And Reisner throws. It's deflected at the line of scrimmage, and I think getting a hand on it was number 31 over there, and that's Jordan Flowers. And he said, not in my rose garden. So it will be 3rd and long.
Yeah, 3 straight runs on the first series for Johnson, but after they moved the chains, trying to go through the air, and 2 incomplete since then.
I will go down to Charles momentarily, but I think you're going to see him leaving the pocket because of that on-rushing defense. So they are big and tough and fast. Reisner puts the trailing Simpson in motion. Here is Reisner looking, throwing, caught up at the 46-yard line. Drop, but there is a flag down. The ball was caught by, I think it was Randall. But as he was hit, the ball popped free. There is a flag down at the 45.
Yeah, there was a huge hit on that receiver right after the ball got there.
Let's go down to Charles, Mark.
Guys, the penalty is going to be on the Brandeis guys for probably just enough room on that hit for a defenseless receiver. And they're probably just going to discuss it. He definitely threw the flag right away. And then there's the question of the fumble. From my vantage point, the fumble came as he hit the ground and not before he hit the ground.
So if it's a penalty, it would supersede the fumble anyway.
Yeah, that's correct.
Well, it wouldn't make any difference if there's a penalty, Walter, I don't think. But we'll see as the big blue, the navy blue colors with the light blue trousers, the dark blue helmets. They're going from my left to right here at Hero Stadium, opened in 2009.
Yeah, he took about 3 steps with the ball.
Yeah, head linesman Charles Salinas Jr. threw the beanbag to signify the fumble. So
I guess it was a fumble. But let's see what they have given us a signal. Here it comes.
We have an incomplete pass. Personal foul, number 4 on the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Didn't explain the penalty except to say it was a personal foul, but
mark it off against Brandeis.
I guess in college that looked like a targeting or something. The way that.
Well, as Charles described it, it was a pretty vicious hit after the ball was popping free, right, Charles?
That's the vantage point of the umpires. From my vantage point, it's a shoulder-to-shoulder hit, and he did take 2 or 3 steps with the football. So I wouldn't agree with the call in any way.
So it's first down now at the 48 in Jag territory. Rodriguez in motion. And a handoff, and it's
Elvin Simpson.
Simpson gets up to midfield and then crunches his way into the 44-yard line down in Bronco territory. And they open the corral gate and they put the brand right there of the Jaguars on it, and it's 2nd and 2. Going from my left to right. That wind is whipping across the field, but it's giving us some relief from this torrid day here in August of 2019. Randall coming wide to the right. Joined over there by Simpson. Single set left. Now Simpson goes in motion. Right to left. And a handoff. Rodriguez gets to the line of scrimmage and continues to squeeze and ooch his way forward down to the 35-yard line. A tremendous surge. And let's see, the first guy to get in there was Jalen Rainey, but not before he got 9 yards. A little Justin Rodriguez put that 888-pound body into a great effort. And now it's another first down. That's number 4.
Yeah, Justin Rodriguez keeps his legs moving. You can't tackle him up on his shoulder pads. You got to get low, and he had a lot of Broncos bouncing off of him there just to prove it.
It's another first down, 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Here goes Simpson in motion, right to left. Now he comes back to the other side. This is Reasoner. Reasoner is cracked at the 2-yard loss. Nice play. Reading it on the inside read was Jordan Flowers again. And Ty Reasoner couldn't use Dan Rather on that play to get the news out, could he?
Reasoner was on a design quarterback draw and just got eaten up as soon as he saw the first step.
And,
he just couldn't get anywhere.
Mark, you didn't even catch that. My God.
I caught it. Let's talk about Roger Mudd when we get some.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12, back to the 37 in Bronco territory. Again, it's strong side to the right. Now here is Simpson in motion, fumble, and then Rodriguez picks it up, but he tries to go outside and he loses another yard or so. And that was an alert play because he popped it back into his hand, but there was Austin Garcia, and he had him nailed over at Bastrop. He's a 5'7", 750-pound senior. May have hit the center's leg.
Yeah,
and now
it didn't come back sharp enough. And,
Chase, take this next situation where they got 15 yards to go for a first down.
Maybe Elvin Simpson can do something, Coach Rittiman. I know relies on Elvin Simpson, Randall, and Reasoner, which is his secret weapon. Trip set to the right. Here's Reasoner putting Justin Rodriguez in motion. Now Justin goes back to the other side. Here's Reasoner handing it off to Elvin Simpson, and Elvin Simpson has nowhere to go. He is pummeled by that defensive line of the Brandeis Broncos.
Yeah, they tried a delay counter there out of the backfield, 3rd and long. Maybe you could pop something loose, but that defensive line was playing in disciplined form and able to get to him before he made anything.
Yes, they were, and Alex Trevino and Nick Dominguez were both on that tackle first. Strong defensive lineman.
Yeah, a little bend but not break by that Brandeis Broncos defense. 7 returning starters, and just the way it ended up last year, you got a lot of guys with some experience out there.
So it'll look like the Johnson Jaguars are going to punt it away, and there's a whistle.
Delay before he got it away.
Brandvik is the kicker. London Brandvik. So it's a good-looking initial drive, guys, and then bam, they shut the door. 6 minutes to go, so they've had the ball a long time in this first period.
So it'll be Brandvik getting set. He'll be kicking from his own 46-yard line. And here's the punt. It is a nice little squabbly punt down to the 10-yard line, and it is dropped and fumbled, but then picked up, and he is still on his feet. He's to the 20, and he's to the 25, and he's finally down at the 26-yard line.
32-yard kick and about an 11-yard return.
So now it'll be the Brandeis Broncos' turn to see if they can possibly score. Jordan Battles will be leading that offensive course. That is their main go-to guy that runs the Brandeis Broncos offense, along with Alex Palomino, Corinne Holmes, Jay Raquel, and Joshua Suarez at receiver. So it'll be trip set left, Jordan Battles alongside Jay Raquel, and here is the snap, and it is a keep by Jordan Battles, and he gains an easy 8 yards.
Okay, you got Brandon Brown, their leading tackler for the Jags, Alex Gonzalez, and El Amin Boa, the down 3. They're going into a 43D, though. Then you got Lingley, Rodriguez, Hernandez, Kirk, Branch, James, Lee, and Watt.
So we have Suarez going out left in isolation. We have Jordan Battles alongside with Jay Raquel. And it is Jordan Battles with the fake handoff and keeping it. Now he's up to the 46-yard line, making that stop.
Yeah, Battles on that zone read, pulled it, and took off, and made 13
Joseph
yards.
Hernandez and Reed Watt.
Gallegos, Pliego, Martinez, Bate, Lopez, and Bowen. That's the down group offensively. And then you got Suarez, Holmes, Palomino, and Rangel.
So it'll be a double wideout set to the left. Jordan Battles counting the snap. He takes the snap. He hands it off to his running back, and that is Jay Raquel, and he is running to the 40-yard line. He is still on the outskirts, and he is pushed out of bounds at about the 35-yard line, making that run. And stopping him was Colton Lee. 19-yard gain. And it looks like the Brandeis Broncos has a lot of speed in the backfield. So now it will be a trips set to the right. Jordan Battles and Jay Raquel. He puts a man in motion. Or now he's putting him right beside him. Jordan Battles hands it off to Jay Raquel again, and Jay Raquel is looking for space. He's got room. He's to the 20-yard line, the 15, the 10, and he is tackled at the 5-yard line. Almost a near touchdown for the Brandeis Broncos. Making that stop was Reed Watt. 30-yard gain. 2 carries, 49 yards for Rangel.
2 running backs tonight, both carrying the number 21 and both carrying the ball with some strength and power as Rangel went almost to the goal line.
Here's Battles, takes a snap, he's keeping, and he is looking for room, and there's a flag on the play. Illegal procedure.
El Amin Boa was there to meet him, but 255-pound junior.
So we'll be moving back to the 8 with 4 minutes and 25 seconds left in the first quarter.
Rangel is a 5'8", 160-pound senior. Palomino is 6 feet, 168 junior. Korean Holmes is 5'9", about 183 senior.
So here is Jordan Battles accompanied with Rangel. And Battles is looking for Korean, and he is into the end zone. That is a touchdown for Corian Holmes to make it 7-0.
We just mentioned his name, and he is a super senior. Boy, they've got speed, don't they?
They have a lot of speed.
Well-designed play, though, is the second receiver who caught the ball was second into that zone, and both of the DBs went with the first receiver, and he just walked into the end zone once that touch pass came to him.
Yeah. Let's go down to Charles with that special audio equipment we got.
Well, good point that Mark made there, because that wide receiver, he was wide open, and it was an easy touchdown for Brandeis.
And Xavier Lopez puts it through the uprights to make it 7-0.
4:20 to play, first period here from Heroes Stadium. You're listening to Frost High School football on GDP Sports. Every family wants the assurance that their most valuable possessions are protected and secure for the future. That's why you need the most insurance coverage that budgets can afford. Even though his company is headquartered in Texas, John Lester is expanding his company from coast to coast. He has recently added several major insurance companies to better serve his growing clientele. You are protected from hurricane, fire, auto accidents, even a polar bear attack. John Lester once played linebacker for the Bastrop Bears, knows the importance of insurance. Call John Lester's Insure 1-210-541-9771.
That scoring drive here at Hero Stadium by the Brandeis Broncos. 5 plays, 74 yards, 121 off the clock. Capped off by an 8-yard touchdown pass from Battles to Corian Holmes. Score now 7 for Brandeis, 0 for the Johnson Jags.
By the way, but looking back at the history in sports, it was on this date in 2006, Greg Maddox of the Braves won his 300th baseball game.
And here's Xavier Lopez with the kick, and it's the same exact kick as last time, going down to about the 22-yard line. Miscommunication, and it's Jaron Randall finally getting the ball, but then shortly after getting tackled.
Yeah, speaking of baseball, that looked like 2 outfielders not knowing who was going to field that ball as it get popped up there. And
the wind was playing a little factor in it too, I think.
Miscommunication. And that's what it's all about. When, you come into the season, first game, there's going to be some miscommunication and mistakes that you work out into going into the later in the season. So it'll be double wide out set right. Here's Elvin Simpson in motion. Going back now to the same spot. Here's Ty Reasoner giving it off to Justin Rodriguez. Justin Rodriguez has room. He's to the 40. He's to the 50. He's got space. 40, 30, 25, 20. He's got a man on his tail, 5, and he's into the end zone. 76-yard run. Yes, I did. I said it in the beginning. Justin Rodriguez has some
4.540 speed and used every bit of it.
He did use every bit of it.
Tremendous run. He got some great blocking on the left side. Give credit to Hunsinger, Benjamin, and Milou, along with Jimenez, Bongiorno, and Sanders. They were all doing a great job blocking.
Yeah, that offensive line opened up a big hole, but Rodriguez didn't need much as he was into the secondary in just a few steps. What a play to come back against that first touchdown.
And we'll see if Reed Kinney can put it through the uprights. It was nearly blocked, but it's still good to make it 7-7 with 4 minutes and 3 seconds left in the first quarter.
Faster than losing your money in Las Vegas. It's tied at 7-all. We'll be back. You're listening to Frost High School Football on GDP Sports.
You don't hear many cheers for banks. It could be because chants like 2, 4, 6, 8, let my savings account appreciate, don't exactly whip crowds into a frenzy. But more likely, it's because most banks haven't given us much to cheer about. It hasn't always been that way. At Frost, we've been San Antonio's hometown favorite since 1868. And if you don't bank with Frost yet, come on over. We promise to never stop working to make you a big fan of everything we do. Visit frostbank.com/expectmore.
Well, let's quickly go down to Charles Vickers with our James Fulmer equipment brought to you by Sam Ash Music Store. Charles?
Hey, that was a great way to respond to a quick touchdown there by Brandeis. And so Johnson did what they did best. They put the ball on the ground, and they put it in the hands of their best running back. And like you said, Chase, he followed the blockers, and he was gone.
He was gone. He had enough space to get through the line, and once he was through that line, he was gone.
There's been a movie running called Girl Gone. He was a boy gone on that one, wasn't he?
Yes, he was, Gary DeLaune.
And he didn't need Ben Affleck to help him.
No, he did not. And here's Reed Kinney with the kickoff. It is a strong boot, but it is going out of bounds, and that'll be a penalty.
Or they can put it there in good field position. This wind is just playing havoc with the kicks.
It is. It really is. It's blowing strong across the field in a weird direction.
And, of course, this is a field that runs north and south, and the wind is kind of an erratic wind. It's east wind at about 12 miles an hour or more. It's whipping erratically, and we don't have any flags. Yeah, the American flag is whipping around pretty well. So what a great way to begin this thing. We've only got 4:03 left to play. We've had a great 7 minutes and 57 seconds, haven't we?
Very exciting, very entertaining.
They're going to take it at the 30, the out-of-bounds kick. You know, what a great name to have, not only Jordan Battles as quarterback, but you got Alex Palomino at running back. Isn't that great? That's a great name, isn't it?
That's a great name. It describes him very well, too. And here's Jay Rangel coming out, then making it a double wide out to the left. And here's Battles keeping, fake throwing, and he is up to the 40-yard line.
Oh, man, he had more moves than Gypsy Rose Lee. He's caught in a draft. I mean, he put on the move.
He does have a lot of agility, and that's what makes him the
He's got
quarterback
4.5 speed, as does Holmes, as does Palomino, as does Rodriguez, and Ty Reisner. They've all got 4.5 speed.
So it'll be a double wide out set to the right. Jay Rangel going out to the left. Getting set. Here's Battles. Taking Rangel around the back of him. Now Battles pitching it to Rangel. Rangel's up to the 40, and he is quickly recognized and tackled at the 40-yard line, making it no gain.
At the line of scrimmage, and trying to get a block was Alec Martinez, the 6'2", 265 senior center, but his defender got past him, and he made the stop. So they're going to give him one. But look at this! Look at those huge offensive linemen. Boy, they're big.
They are big.
They look like real Broncos too, don't they? My goodness,
They do.
They can move.
Double wide out set to the left with a single receiver on the right.
Bowen goes over tight end right.
Battles gives it off to Corian Holmes, and he is shoelace tackled and pinned down before his teammates could get there. That's his first carry, 7-yard gain.
He also has that great speed. Making a stop in the secondary was Garrett James.
7-yard gain for the Broncos. Send up 3rd down and 2.
Third and 2. 18 yards in to the far side, from the near side of the field.
Johnson Jags
going
wanting to
from
hold
my
the
right
Brandeis
to
Broncos. Here's the looking over to the bench, and it's a flag.
Yeah, the Johnson defense shifted in the defensive line and made one of the offensive linemen jump, and that backs him up 5 yards.
We hope you are enjoying this tonight on a last Friday in August of 2019. By the way, the first UIL-sanctioned state football champion came in 1920. Cleveland was playing Houston Heights. They were declared co-champions because the game ended in a scoreless tie. And I guess they didn't have penetrations or first downs in those days that made the difference.
Here's Battles rolling to his right, looking for a receiver. He's got a man open, and he catches it, and that is Palomino.
That's a great throw on the run there by Battles.
A good route, too. He cut it right back before the defender could get to him. That is a pickup of 8 yards.
Hurry up offense.
First down. It'll be trip set to the left. Here's Battles taking the snap, keeping. He's looking for a hole. He's trying to find a hole, and he gets about a gain of 6 yards. That O-line is just pushing that Johnson defense of line back, and that is Brandon Brown making the stop against Battles. That is also one of our captains for the Johnson Jaguars. So it'll be 2nd and 4. 1 minute, 23 seconds left on the clock. Double wide out set right, single receiver on the left. Got a tight end going to the left side. Here's the handoff by Battles to Corian Holmes, and he is fighting for the first down, and he keeps his legs moving, and he has the first down.
And let me tell you the reason that worked, because the big guy blocking up front cleared the hole. And that was Branson Gallegos. And he put the block on Justin Kirk as well as Reed Watt, and it cleared him for the first down.
Which makes it easy for Battles to find that hole. So double wide out set to the right with the single receiver on the left. Battles putting Rangel in motion, and Battles throws up the field, and it is an incomplete pass. Intended receiver was the tight end, and that is number 83, Chris Bowen. First incompletion for Chris Bowen.
And Watt was again in on the stop. 39 seconds left in the first period. 7-7.
So it'll be double wide out set to the left with the single receiver on the right. As Battles is talking to Corian Holmes, the tight end switching from the left to the right. Here's Battles stepping back. He's getting rushed, and he's going to be sacked.
Oh, is that a dangerous pass? He was in the grasp, but that's a tremendous rush. Who was that on the safety blitz?
That was
number 34, Charles.
Number 52.
I think it was Joseph Hernandez, Charles.
It was Hayden Stockton, number 52.
That was a great blitz, just at the right time, so it was a good call by the staff over at Jaguar Land.
Justin Rodriguez is now on the field for the Johnson Jags defense. Here's the trip set left, and here's Battles rolling to his left, trying to find a receiver. He's got time, but he throws it short. The intended receiver was number 12, and that is Joshua Suarez, but he had 3 Johnson Jaguars all around him.
And
so that'll make it
20-yard loss on that intentional ground.
The snap, and
Palomino
is doing sort of a rugby style kick, and it is going to bounce out of bounds. And they are going to mark it at the
7-yard line.
7-yard line.
Oh, 17, I guess, huh? No, it's at the 7. 8-yard
That's
line.
8-yard line.
Short kick. 44, well, not really short, but he got the roll. That's why it's so long.
Again, that wind is affecting the kicking game greatly tonight.
All right, ready to go. It's 1st and 10 at the 8. Ty Reasoner, the junior quarterback. He has Simpson in motion. Comes back to the left side. Here's a handoff to Rodriguez again. It's a fake, and Reasoner is stopped. Boy, nobody, I mean to tell you, you talk about smelling that out. Austin Garcia, hey, he said, hey, I'm going to make the stop here, and he did. That was tremendous blitz on that play from his safety position, Charles Vickers.
Yeah, great way to end the quarter, and that really pins Jaguars down in a bad territory to be.
Yeah, you're right. So after the first period of play on our opening night in 2019, after the first period here at Heroes Stadium, it's 7-7, deadlock between the Jaguars and the Broncos. And we'll return in just a moment. You're listening to Frost High School Football.
You don't hear many cheers for banks. It could be because chants like 2, 4, 6, 8, let my savings account appreciate don't exactly whip crowds into a frenzy. But more likely, it's because most banks haven't given us much to cheer about. It hasn't always been that way. At Frost, we've been San Antonio's hometown favorite since 1868. And if you don't bank with Frost yet, come on over. We promise to never stop working to make you a big fan of everything we do. Visit frostbank.com/expectmore.
Back in 1905, Ty Cobb made his major league debut with the Detroit Tigers. Ty Cobb, who was played in the movies by Tommy Lee Jones, I believe.
That's an underrated movie there with the story of Ty Cobb. First quarter stats, Brandeis 6 first downs to Johnson's 5. Rushing all over the place, 85 yards rushing for Brandeis, 100 yards rushing for Johnson. 16 yards passing for a total of 97. 1 of 3 on third downs for Brandeis, 2 of 3 on third down for
Strong
Johnson.
side to the left at the 4-yard line. Oh, this is dangerous country here, friends. On the loss of 4, the last play. Here's Simpson in motion. Rodriguez in motion. Here's the handoff up the middle and a gain of 1. No place to go, and that's the show. They give him maybe another surge yard or so. That was Simpson carrying the ball.
Yeah, maybe just enough of a gain there to get Reasoner out of his own end zone. He was standing in a shotgun 2 yards deep in his own end zone there.
Yeah, and he didn't have any shot in the gun either. On that play, it will be, my goodness, 3rd and still about 11.5 from the 6-yard line. 6-yard line. And now you've got trip set to the left. You talk about a Mississippi gambler right here. Can he roll the dice? Strong side to the right. He has a man in motion. It's Rodriguez on the carry, and he tries to break free, but he just can't. Tried to follow the block of his big right tackle, and he just couldn't get enough. That was, I think, Sam Cerrito who was blocking. He gains 3. It'll be 4th down. And you talk about a dangerous punt time, 4th and 9. Oh, my. And you've got speed ready to return it. Brandeis Broncos. And insist Rodriguez. Aiden is the returner. He's at the 50. He'll be lucky to get it to the 50. Standing in end zone is Brandevic. He gets it away. Oh, he gets a good bounce, but it goes to the 40, 45, 50, 45, down to the 43-yard line. 52-yard kick. So did he do his job? And that was a great effort by Brandevic just to get it out of there. He's a good punter. So it's 10-17 to go, second quarter, 7-7. But here come the Broncos, and now they're in Jaguar territory. They're going to put it down right at the 40-yard line. That was a return of some 20 yards. Jordan Battles, 6 foot 190, a junior. Had 3,474 total yards last year as a junior. This is a strong side left. Handoff. And a yard gain maybe. Oh, you talk about that's a huge bunch of Jaguars stopping the carry and carrying the ball is a new running back in there.
That is Christian Medina.
So he gained a yard or maybe 2. Call it the 38-yard line. 2nd down and 8. A 6-man front. Now they drop off to a 5-man. This is Battles back to pass. He's getting time. He throws out. He's got a man clear. Couldn't get there. Too tall, too far, too bad. It's 3 in a row incompletions now. That was intended for Joshua Suarez. And defending on the right side with Willie Branch and then Reed Watt. 1 of 2 on 3rd down conversion tries. 3rd down and 8 from the 38-yard line in Jaguar territory. Strong side to the left. The white-clad Broncos out on the flank comes right. Battles.
Exact same thing. That shift by the Johnson
cost
defense.
Another timeout.
No,
they're going to call it this one on them. Yeah, let's go down to Charles.
Same thing that happened. Jaguars shifted, and the offensive line moved a little bit.
So that will bring up a 5-yard penalty. 3rd and 13 now. So Battles will probably go to the air. They group. They come up and close the gaps on defense. Battles back, 2-yard drop. He's being chased. He throws downfield. A man under clear, but way off the mark. That was a lack of correspondence there. The telegraph wasn't working. That ball was intended way downfield by the young man we just mentioned a moment ago. He'd just come in, and
that is Christian Medina.
Medina couldn't get there. I think he ran the wrong route, Mark. To me.
Battles was hit as he threw the ball.
Brandon Brown had a whole lot of Battles up in the air, and I don't think Battles could get anything under the ball. He definitely didn't have his feet up under him when he just did that all arm.
So it's 4th and apparently punt time. And rugby style, it's a high one. And it's going to go all the way down to the 1-yard line, but they can't stop it. Trying to kill it down there. A 43-yard kick, trying to kill the ball was Wiley Hamilton. But he just couldn't get there on the specialty team, so it'll be 3 and out for the Broncos, 9:19 to play. We told you it was going to be a heck of a ball game. Coach David Branscombe, 36 years old, born in Phoenix, grew up in Jacksboro, Texas. Played 4 sports: football, basketball, track, and baseball. His granddad is an Army colonel. His dad was a retired minister. Graduated from Cisco J.C. and Mary Hardin Baylor, where he played for Pete Fredenberg, who was very instrumental in his career, along with Corky Nelson. And, of course, Ron Ritterman, the former quarterback for the Southwest Texas Bobcats under Coach O'Hara. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Ty Reasoner puts Simpson in motion. Gets the snap. And fumble. Reasoner has to fall on it. Missed communication. Rodriguez never had it, did he?
He never did have it.
They didn't know what was going on there as Reasoner tried to pull it out of Rodriguez's chest and ended up with a ball on the ground. If it weren't for the cat-like reflexes of Reasoner, that would have been a big turnover, but he was able to jump down on it.
Well, I'll tell you what, just to recover that, he had to display more moves than El Toro in Waters bull ring because he almost lost it. 2nd down and 12. And they'll put it in play at the 18. 3-man front now. 4 in the linebacker core. Now Reasoner says, hey, I see something different. That's the first time I've gone to a 3-4. And clock was down to almost penalty time, so they called a timeout. We'll keep it right here. We're glad that you're along on this highway of Heroes Stadium. We love doing Texas high school football. It's really you know, it's a task of love because I do it for fun. You're not going to get paid what they pay Brad Sham or some of the network announcers, even, you know, Greg Simmons and Joe Reinigal and Don Harris. They make the big bucks. But you got an old guy like me, just enjoys the game, and I love doing high school football. 8:45 to go. It's 7-7 score.
Yeah, but the way I look at it, Gary, those guys wouldn't be making anything if it weren't for the pioneers in the sport. You know, Joe Buck wouldn't be where he is without Jack Buck.
You're right about that.
And the first generation of those guys who they painted the picture with their words and got people hooked on sports.
The Kurt Gowdys, the Gordon McClendons, the Harry Wisners, the Bill Stearns. Here is the man in motion. Simpson goes back the other way. Reasoner gives it off to Rodriguez. He breaks free, one man, spins, turns, pirouettes, and is stopped at the line of scrimmage. Just a tremendous effort. He may have picked up 3. I'm not sure. He is triple teamed. He didn't have much opportunity to go very far. Let me tell you, the guy that made that happen is Alex Trevino, 5'10", 250 senior. One of the best defensive backs in the area. Gain of 3. And it's now 3rd down and still at about 9. 8:14 to go. 7-7 score. Broncos scored first, and then here came Rodriguez. 7-7. It's at the 21. 101 yards rushing for the Jaguars. For Rodriguez alone. This is Reasoner back, throws upfield. There's a man down there. He can't hang on. It's Simpson. He got hit. A great hit. And let's see who made that. It was in the secondary. He came up just at the right time. A tremendous timing. And boy, did he ever make the hit. And the young man that made sure that didn't get completed was number 23. And
that's Frank Wilson.
Frank Wilson had 6 interceptions last year. That's the son of Frank Wilson of UTSA.
Well, he wasn't able to get to the interception on that, but he definitely got there right when the ball got there. And he did, as Charles said, a shoulder-to-shoulder hit, a big hit, separating the receiver from the ball, but nice and clean.
So Brandvik is in to do the punting. Landon again. And well, it's an official timeout, so let's take a brief timeout ourselves, letting you know that this is high school football on Frost GPS. Yeah, that's Blake Stevens. He's got me tracked tonight. GPS for GDP. We'll be back. In 1984, high school students were dancing to the song Hey Mickey. That same year, Sherry Armstrong opened Mecca Sportswear to provide those students with quality leather jackets along with all district and all state patches. Well, now, 3 decades later, Sherry and her family are still providing custom leather jackets and award patches to South Texas' greatest student achievers. Call toll-free 844-HEY-MECCA. Hey Mecca, 844-HEY-MECA. High snap. Bradwick barely gets it down. He's having to run with the ball, and he's going to be getting up to the 25-yard line. It was a high snap. He was lucky to even come down with it, and he gets to the 25. But my goodness, on 4th down, it will be a great opportunity for the Broncos. Boy, they see now that they may have the south pasture all to themselves.
Yeah, deep snapper there for Johnson. Really big mistake. Almost snapped it over the punter's head, and the punter was just barely able to get it and made something out of nothing there, but that's just a turnover in anybody's book.
Boy, you're right. He saved it right there, but can they save it defensively right here? So you got Jordan Battles ready to cross over the river Jordan now. And he puts his tight end over to the right. Double wide outside left. Here's the handoff. Straight up the middle, 20, 16-yard line, and carrying the ball, and he didn't have much opposition as he was able to pick up several yards. Corian Holmes, 5'9", 183-pound senior. He picks up 8, 2nd and 2 at the 17. 7:25 to go, going from my left to right. And he puts a man out on the flank to the right.
That's Rango.
And there's somebody moved, I think.
Yep.
the halfback moved just as the ball was snapped, and that was Corian Holmes. Fourth penalty, 30 yards. So that sets them back if they had a golden opportunity. It's a 7-yard needed now for the first down. It's going to be at the 22 from the 17. 7:11 to go. Stop at the corner store, by the way.
Just got the feeling that Brandeis is ready to break free, but they just have a little bit of a problem with those early season mistakes that just kind of keep shooting himself in the foot there with all those penalties so far.
Well, now we have they break the eye, and Battles is. I think the halfback moved again. Looked like to me Battles carries 20, 15 down to the 12-yard line. There was movement in the line, Charles, and I thought the halfback moved again early.
There was definitely movement, and that time the referees didn't agree with us.
Well, two guys were moving. It's a gain of 10, so that sets up a first down at the 12. 7th first down, 6:30 to go. A chance for the Broncos to light up the board one more time. Battles. Handoff up the middle, right side. Holmes down to the 4. And Sherlock solves the case. Picked up 8 yards.
Sherlock Holmes. Gary DeLaune, you come up with some very interesting and fun.
You got to come up with
words
something.
Of expression.
It will be second and about 2.5 for a first down, or 2. But they're close to touchdown territory. And handoff straight up the middle, the dive, first down. It's to Holmes again. And this time he may have the first down, but he didn't get into the end zone.
Yeah, but that's going to move the chains and set them up inside the 2-yard line with 4 cracks at that Johnson defense for the second score of the night.
Well, here's an interesting thing. They're bringing in that big defensive lineman to block on the goal line, and that is Nick Dominguez at 6'2", 218 pounds. He's on the left side to block. Let's see if they go over him. Yeah, here's the handoff. They do, and he goes in. Jordan Battles wins the skirmish in that 2-yard touchdown carry. So now it is 13-7, 5:15 to play.
Penalty after the fact.
Yeah, Battles did his Superman hold up his arms and flex his muscles as he got in the face of one of the Johnson defenders, and 2 of the referees decided that's taunting and threw the flag there.
Well, you might find out that later on in the night that might be more important than the strings on George Strait's guitar, because he has to be in Amarillo by morning. And
Gary DeLaune, Game 1 in mid-season form already.
A lot of fun, gang. There is a little discussion with the percussion here.
Forced on the kickoff. That's going to give Johnson some good field position. They have the wind at their backs.
It is now 13-7, 5:15 to play here in a very exciting first half, guys. This is a high snap. The kick is up. It is going to be good anyway. Xavier Lopez, thanks to the hold of Nico Garcia, puts it through the uprights. It is 14-7, 5:15 to play, second quarter, as the Brandeis Broncos have come out of the corral and headed for the North 40. Even on Yellowstone, Kevin Costner couldn't stop him on that play. There will be timeout for this important message. This is Frost High School football.
In 2017, more than 4,700 people were killed in crashes involving large trucks in the U.S. Semi-trucks, which weigh 20 to 30 times as much as passenger cars, can cause severe injuries in the event of a wreck. If you were injured in an 18-wheeler accident, call Thomas J. Henry. Thomas J. Henry handles serious trucking cases and gets serious results for injured clients. Start your free claim today at tjhlaw.com/radio. That's tjhlaw.com/radio.
San Antonio, Texas.
Back to play here, coming up with the kickoff. It's 14-7 now. By the way, It was on this date in 1984 that Ronald Reagan was inducted into the National Sportscaster Hall of Fame. They called him Dutch. Ronald Reagan did some play-by-play for several years, and he could describe a scene about as well as any president in modern times.
The great communicator.
15-yard penalty. So you talk about putting them deep on. That was the taunt.
Especially with that strange wind making it even harder to kick the ball. So here's Xavier Lopez.
Unusual kickoff formation.
And here's the kick with the slight toe in the ball and going to the opposite side of the field. And here is the return by Shane Johnson. There's 2 flags thrown on the play. And he was downed at the 47-yard line.
Well, it's the first game of the year, so you're going to see perhaps some penalties that won't occur halfway through the season.
While they're sorting out that flag, Gary, that last scoring drive by Brandeis, 5 plays, 25 yards, and 2 minutes and 29 seconds, capped off by a 2-yard run by Jordan Battles. But remember, that short field was set up by that high snap on the punt.
I didn't quite hear the explanation on the penalty, but it said it back, instead of being at the 50, it's back at the 37.
Maybe it was a holding call.
By the way, there was only one state football champion until 1948 in Texas.
And here we are resuming play. Justin Rodriguez going out to the right with Jaron Randall and Shane Johnson on the left. Here is Ty Reasoner putting Rodriguez in motion. Rodriguez coming out. Now here's Reasoner getting rushed, and he throws the ball up the field, and that is an incomplete pass.
Another penalty.
That could be illegal grounding, because he was getting pressure. Oh boy, he was in there by Ernest Rodriguez. Aiden Ernest Rodriguez was racing in from his deep position at safety. Could be against Johnson, I think it is.
Chop block.
Chop block.
That used to be a standard blocking procedure when I was in high school.
Used to be. Keyword used.
Back at the turn of the century.
Back in your day?
The first one. So Johnson's beginning to shoot itself in the foot right here in his first game of the season.
Well, that's expected in the first game of the season. That's where you work out all your mistakes. That's where you find your key players, who you want to do, what key plays you have to run. That's just what you do in the first game. And they'll have a good film day tomorrow. Double wide out set left. Here's Elvin Simpson going in motion. Now going back to his original spot. Here's Ty Reasoner giving it off to Rodriguez, and Rodriguez is just
no place to go. He was trying to get blocks from Huntsinger, Benjamin, and Malone. I like to say that.
And the first guy on that and making the tackle was Joshua Green.
Evan Malone.
Evan Malone.
Yeah, the 3 down linemen for Brandeis there basically beat their blocks and were standing in the holes waiting for that running back to run into them. There's just no blocking up front on that one.
Almost predicting the play. So it'll be a trip set right. That'll be Johnson, Randall, and Simpson. And here's Simpson in motion. Now going back to his original spot, and here's Reasoner rolling to his right. He's getting pressured. There's a missed tackle, and he throws it upfield, and it is an incomplete pass. Intended receiver was Elvin Simpson. But the Brandeis Broncos is just applying good
coming
pressure.
in to cement that play. Was Preston Dang. He said, "Dang, I've got this one."
Yeah.
And
Jaguar down on the field.
Okay, give us some scores.
All right, so over there at Comalander Stadium, Taft is trailing Lee 7-14. Madison is trailing Clemens 0-7. Reagan is behind as well, 0-10 to Brennan. Roosevelt is leading Southwest 14-7. And Alamo Heights is up 7-0 over the New Braunfels Unicorns. Smithens Valley is trailing 14-28 to Lee Midland.
Whoa.
And Lavernia is up 14-7 over Sinton.
I knew you'd have to get that game in there.
Got to go Lavernia.
Yeah. Well, a lot of interesting opening nights. I heard that Madison was behind, and they are predicted to be one of the better teams in the district and in the city. Huntsinger is the young man that was shaken up on the play. Will Huntsinger is a 6'3", 250-pound junior. They can ill afford to lose him because he's a very strong blocker on that left side. 6'3", 250. You can't replace anybody that big. His substitute, by the way, Jackson Weigel, is 5'10", 183. So you'll lose a lot of that power and weight. But he's up now. Let's see if he's going to be all right. He's one big youngster, isn't he? Man. Oh, he's limping along on his left leg. So he's being helped off, but he'll be attended to and then taken to the dressing room early. It's 4:14 to play here in the second period. It's 14-7. Brandeis leading the Johnson Jaguars. You know, the Northside Independent School District, since its inception, began with 12 rural schools in 1949. The first school over there, bit of trivia. Which one was it? Marshall High School.
So it'll be double wide out set both sides. It'll be 3rd and 21 with Elvin Simpson in motion. Here's Reasoner looking for a pass. He gets to Shane Johnson, and it is complete, and Shane Johnson is rocked by number 23. And that's
Frank Wilson.
Frank Wilson
the
again.
Fourth again, yeah.
Frank Wilson has been laying some hard hits tonight.
Well, he's got some pretty good training, too.
Pick up a 6, but it is still going to be 4th and 15.
And Brandeis takes a timeout to stop the clock.
Yeah, don't forget the penalty a moment ago, and that's what hurt him. 1 timeout left for the Jags and 2 for the Broncos.
All the momentum on that Brandeis sideline right now, and they're trying to take advantage of another score before halftime by burning that time out there, and instead of letting Johnson take another 25 or so seconds off the clock before that punt.
Is on this date in 2012 that Andy Roddick, who lives up the road a little ways in Austin, retired after the U.S. Open. Andy Roddick never really made it to that upper echelon, did he? Like Federer or Nadal. But he was a heck of a player.
Yeah, they've got some young lady.
How did the young? She plays tomorrow, right?
Yeah, she's still in.
Coco.
Yeah, just young phenom on the lady side of the tennis world right now.
Boy, she can really play tennis. Let me tell you.
So
she's the next Venus Williams.
And the punt goes out of bounds around the, where are they going to mark it? The 30.
At the 35.
5-yard line.
3:43 to go.
34-yard kick. The last punt was 52, and that'll be the 3rd punt for the Johnson Jaguars.
Brandeis was 11-3 last year, and 7-2 in district. 7-4 for the Jaguars of Ron Redeman.
So now it'll be Battle's turn to try to secure another touchdown before halftime with 3 minutes 43 seconds left on the clock in the second quarter. It'll be double wide out set left, single receiver on the right, and that'll be Rangel on the right, and he is in motion. Battles hands it off to the Corian Holmes, and Corian Holmes is down to the 30-yard line and knocked out of bounds at the 25-yard line. 24.
That was 16 yards, 41 yards on the sprint, and he can really fly, can't he? You talk about a Bronco on the run.
Yeah, Johnson defense has to be strong enough to keep them out of the end zone before halftime.
Yeah, but I'm not sure they can do it. Seems like that Mr. Battles is on a roll right now, all 190 pounds of him.
Tight end, switching from the left to the right side. Battles handing it off to Holmes once again, and this time Holmes is stopped at the 20-yard line. with the gain of 4.
First guy to get in there off his safety position at cornerback, Colton Lee, the 6 foot, 180-pound senior. But that's a gain of 5.
Brandeis Broncos are really pushing for another touchdown.
3:09 in the second.
Double wide out set to the left. Now it'll be trips due to Rangel moving to the left. Here's Battles. Taking the snap. He's keeping, and he has room, and he is to the 10, the 5, and into the end zone. 20 yards for the amazing quarterback Jordan Battles. 7 carries for 44 yards. 2 touchdowns rushing for Jordan Battles with 2 minutes 52 seconds left on the clock to make it 20-7.
He really is great at the read. He watched what the defensive end was going to do, then he just simply cut inside, found daylight, and boy, did he look good on that play.
He did look good on that play. He has
Put
that
up
quick feet.
6 more points.
And here's the kick by Xavier Lopez, putting it through the uprights to make it 21-7.
2:52 to play in the second quarter, and the Broncos increase their lead. You're listening to Frost High Football on GDP Sports. Every San Antonio family has a dream to live in their own castle. There's one San Antonio real estate expert who can fulfill that dream, and he has provided many wonderful kingdoms for hundreds of home buyers in South Texas. Chris Collins of RE/MAX Preferred has been the realtor selected by families that want to make that dream a reality. He'll provide the expertise and confidence to purchase the home that's your address for future happiness. Call Chris at RE/MAX Preferred 210-213-2432. Let's go down to Charles Vickers. Oh, I'm sorry. He's on his way up to the press box. Anyway, that was a heck of a drive, a great run. And let me say this, Mark. The Jaguars have hurt themselves in the second quarter with infractions and penalties.
Yeah, you can see that they were holding their own there against Brandeis at first, but it just now you see that momentum and the experience on Brandeis, especially on that offensive side, with 8 returning starters from last year on that offensive side going up against a real young Johnson defense. And, man, you just didn't want to give up that touchdown before halftime, and now there's still 3 minutes left, and you're down 2 touchdowns now. That last drive, 3 plays, 65 yards, 1:21 off the clock, 20-yard touchdown run by Jordan Battles, his second of the night.
Let's turn the page of history just for a moment. In 1946, Kyle Rote played for Jefferson High School when they lost to Odessa before 40,000 fans for the state championship.
Yeah, that's a pop-up kick by Brandeis, and let's see who got on the bottom.
I believe Brandeis came up with it.
That was a perfect pop-up, though. It was right between the
Brandeis,
the first line dropping back, and one of the upbacks.
Thinks they've got it.
I think they do as well.
Brandeis ball.
Well, let's see. Before the referee gave the decision as to who got the ball, there's already some jaw-jacking over there.
Yeah, Rodriguez and
yeah,
they're going to get a penalty, one of them.
They're backing up Brandeis again, I bet you.
And let's see, coming up with a ball, though, was number 33.
Unless it's offsetting. But, yeah, that was a pop-up kick, and it landed in front of the upback, and it bounced back towards the kicker, but it definitely went past 10 yards, so that was a live ball.
On especially, well, I don't have a 33. It had to be Christian Jimenez, I think, on the specialty teams. I did not see a fair catch.
No, he was running up trying to field it, but he was being – let's see, there's a personal foul, dead ball.
First one's against Brandeis.
Oh, they've ejected a player from the Brandeis side. If I got that right, that's Jordan Flowers has been ejected.
Oh, he's been tremendous.
31. Yeah, that's a big loss. But something happened over there in that pile that drew the flag and has a player ejected from the Brandeis sideline.
Oh, and I'm sure that David Branscombe is going to have a little chewing coming up at halftime. That is not the kind of image he wants the Broncos to project. He is one fascinating young man. I really enjoyed visiting with him and talking to him. As I told you, it's a 4-sport star at Jacksboro High School. Walter says number 30 got tossed. I think that was the young man I described earlier. Was it not?
30 would be Xavier Lopez. That's the kicker.
Walter, you're going to get your binoculars out. We can't have falsified information. We're not CNN here.
It was 30, or can't have fake news. It was 30 or 31, and I think they're still discussing it with Coach Ritteman, just trying to explain what happened over there. It looked like Justin Hernandez was at the bottom of that pile, and maybe something happened down there that drew the attention of the referee.
Yeah, they pulled Rodriguez up, and then I saw him pull up another. They were still entangled, and that means, they were still jawing.
Yeah, there's somebody walking.
Yeah, I can tell you who it is right now. And it's not really important.
No, that's just a player there.
No, I don't think that's the young man that was ejected.
No. One way or another, though, the ball still belongs to Brandeis again.
No, it can't belong to Brandeis. It was a kick.
Yeah, but it ended up being an onside kick, even though it wasn't set up that way. Well, it went past 10 yards and bounced, so it was a live ball after that, and one of the Brandeis players jumped on it, and then that scrum ensued. But it's definitely Brandeis football right now.
This is kind of interesting. The young man we just spoke about on the sideline was down talking to another gentleman on the sideline. I think that's his father. It was Frank Wilson Jr.
Yeah, that's probably that does look like Coach Wilson over there.
Talking to his son.
Walter, is that Coach Wilson over there on about the 22 or the 17-yard line over that far sideline?
Yeah, he's talking to his son.
Yeah, Brandeis has the ball on first down. A quick little play gains him 2 yards, so it's going to be second and 8.
That's a mystery to me, though. You penalize a team and eject a player, then you give them the ball.
So it'd be double wide out set to the right?
They called it dead ball. So after the recovery, they did something under the pile that got him that.
Battles, throws it to Suarez, and he is knocked out of bounds at the 40.
Yeah, if Johnson has any chance at all, they've got to stand tough and not
They're
let
getting held out, though, Mark. Great defensive, a great blocking scheme on the Broncos. That was a gain of 7.
Well, I see that offensive line. Sometimes they're playing finesse and running misdirection, and sometimes they're just getting in front of the other guy and bulldozing them over in his power running game.
Here's Battles, handing it off to.
Yeah.
Kayvon Rocket is now in there at running back instead of Rangel.
They put a rocket in their pocket to see if they can put it in the saddle. 5'7", 160-pound junior. Six penalties, 50 yards. That's not what Coach Branscombe wants in his first half. So it'll be 3rd and still 7. 2:11 in the quarter. 21-7 is the score.
So it'll be double wideouts on both sides. Now Holmes going to the left side of Battles. Here's Battles rolling to his left. He's got a receiver, and it is too high for Suarez to pull down, and so that'll be an incomplete pass.
And give credit to the young man who helped knock that ball away, and it was Garrett James, the 6', 160-pound senior over at right cornerback.
Yeah, James got up, high pointed the ball with him and knocked it down before he was able to get it. That's a good defensive play there to force the punt by Brandeis.
So that'll make it 4th and 6 with 2 minutes and 7 seconds left to go. And here is punt time for the Brandeis Broncos. Here's the snap and taking the punt. It was nearly blocked, and it'll be going out of bounds.
And the pressure on the almost block was applied this time on the special unit, and he did a good job, and that was Matt Rodriguez.
Yeah, that punter is Alex Palomino on the Brandeis side, and he looked like he had all day. He had no.
And suddenly here came Mr. Rodriguez.
He had no urgency at all and realized, oh man, I got to get this off, because he had 3 Johnson defenders getting ready to have that double thump with that blocked punt.
23-yard kick, so they're going to mark it down at the 25-yard line. And now it'll be the Jaguars' ball to see if they can go in before halftime with another touchdown. One timeout left for the Johnson Jaguars.
Look for him to go long here, I think.
Here's Justin Rodriguez in motion. Ty Reasoner looking back to pass. Looking for an open pass. He's got a man. That's Shane Johnson. He's at the 40, 30, down to the 20. He's outrunning his man. 10-5, touchdown.
Come back, Shane.
Come back, Shane.
And he was the Allen lad out racing Van Heflin in that play, wasn't he?
He was.
Gary, you called it right there, go long, and the Brandeis defense was caught on their heels, and Shane Johnson got behind them, and Ty Reasoner put it right on the numbers. All there was left to do is cross the goal line.
And that was as well done as Eric Severide could have done, even if he had Harry Reasoner with him.
So that'll make it 21-13 with the extra point. Oh, and it is
extra
blocked.
Point is blocked.
But that will not be returned, so it'll be kickoff time for the Jaguars. We'll keep it right here. 21-13 is the score. We still have minute 48. That's plenty of time for Jordan Battles to take him downfield. Goodness, 21-13 now.
Yeah, that scoring drive, if you can call it that, one play, 75 yards, only took 11 seconds, 75 yards from Ty Reasoner to Shane Johnson. Score now 21 for the Brandeis Broncos, 13 for Johnson with that blocked extra point.
Every time we go down on the field to Charles Vickers when we go to the sideline, we are doing it courtesy of the donation by James Fulmer at Sam Ash Music Store. Next time you need any musical gear, go see James, and he'll know well that Gary and the crew sent you to him. Only the second first down, as Walter says, in this quarter for the Jags. I tell you what, the Broncos have certainly mended their defense.
So it'll be the Johnson Jaguars' time to kick off to Kayvon Rocket and Aiden Inesta Rodriguez. And here's the kick. It is going deep, right back down to the 2-yard line. And there's a little slip, and he is only making it up to the 16-yard line. And that was Aiden Inesta Rodriguez with the return.
And on the specialty unit, was such an important part in high school ball, the young man that led the way on the D was Parker Spanley.
Yeah, once again, Gary, I think it's important that Johnson defense gets strong here. I mean, you can keep it close or you can score again with your offense, but you can't afford to go down 2 touchdowns after you've been able to get that quick touchdown.
But they've made some mistakes when they are getting a good effort going, and then suddenly they make a mistake. But that's, of course, this is the first. Don't forget, this is the first game of the season, and also these kids are not experienced like the Brandeis Broncos are. They have a lot of players returning on their offensive defensive units, the starters from last year, whereas the Jaguars have lost quite a few starters.
Yeah, Johnson's got a lot to build on and a lot of positives to go into halftime with. Coaches will be able to talk about some mistakes for sure, but they'll also be able to say, hey, you hung with this number 2 ranked team all the way through the first half if you can just get off the field here.
Brandeis will start the second half with the ball. So this will be Jordan Battles and straight up the middle and getting a surge, and he just followed the big buttocks of Alec Martinez, 6'2", 265-pound senior.
Number 22 on that carry was Kevontavious Rocket. It's a gain of 3 on first down.
They just shortened it. They call him Kayvon.
Kayvon Rocket. That's a good position to be in.
Whoa. Brilliant pass at the 36-yard line.
Brilliant catch by Suarez.
Yeah, Suarez pulled that ball out of the air because that was a hummer off the arm of Battles for a gain of 15. Move the chains. Under a minute to go in the first half.
Here's Battles taking the snap, and he's keeping it, and he's going to run to the right side. And he is down at the 40-yard line for a gain of 5.
40 seconds to play in the first half.
1 timeout left for Johnson. So it'll be double wide out set to the left and a single receiver to the right. And here's Jordan Battles dropping back to pass, looking for a receiver. He's scrambling to the right and throw it in out of bounds.
That was a dangerous pass, though, because the nearest guy to it was the defender, Brandon Brown.
And you saw how Battles just kind of put a bullet on it.
Brandon Brown was their leader last year. He is a fine, fine defensive end. That's 6'2 1/2", 242 pounds. 20 seconds left.
So it'll be trip set to the left. Strong side on the right. Here's Battles. He fumbled the ball, and Johnson
got on it.
The ball.
But do they have a timeout? 17 seconds. I think he took his eye off the ball.
I think he did too.
Wow, that's a revolting development, as William Bendix used to say on the life of Riley.
Golden opportunity, though, for Johnson. 17 seconds left, 31-yard line. Get some score before halftime. Boy, you're going to be walking on air going into that locker room.
They're going to, I bet you they go deep.
Well, you called your shot a while ago, Gary.
Trip set to the right. Single set left. This is Reasoner. Puts Johnson in motion. Back to pass. Reasoner's forced to run. 30, 25, and out of bounds at about the 20-yard line.
Yeah, flag back in the pocket, though. Looks like it's coming back with
holding.
a holding call.
10 seconds to go. He lost 7 seconds, but he lost yardage on the penalty. But this is the first game. You know, they're learning a lot. Playing one of the best teams in all of South Texas, the Brandeis Broncos.
I'm not going to say yeah, but you're playing a team like this. You've got the opportunity to pull the upset. You got to play perfect. You can't make these mistakes. There can't be a lot of yellow flags on the ground after plays, especially when you're trying to get something going into halftime. After that fortuitous bounce on that bad snap, you got a turnover. You're trying to take advantage of it. Like you said, go deep. You got to take your opportunities where you can.
Trip set to the right. Reasoner with 10 seconds on the clock. 3-man front. The snap. Back. 4-yard drop. Looks, throws long. He airs it out. There's a man down there, and it's knocked away. Brilliant pass defense made by Jalen Rainey. There was a man open behind him, and he couldn't get the oomph.
Yeah, I think that may have been a blown pattern. There's two receivers kind of converging on the same spot, and they brought their defenders with them. So the receiver that was actually targeted was defended by the other DB that came over, just playing center field there. 2 seconds left before halftime, but that was close to being a fantastic play there.
For those who are not necessarily as encyclopedic as you, DB would in this case mean defensive back. Is that correct?
Well,
thank you very much. I want to clarify that.
Let's not also forget the fact that Ty Reasoner just threw a rope about 45 yards to an open receiver, and just that close to being within 2 points going into halftime.
Would it have been the same had he thrown a lariat?
Only if it was a lariat pickup truck.
I see.
You can't really throw a pickup truck very far.
I see. Okay. Well, if it's Lawrence McDonald, you could say if. It's true. But
I'm just trying to come close to competing with him. His mind is too fast, and there's no way. It's early in the season. I can't come back at this rate.
Well, now you see, you talk about a spread defense. Look at that. They've got 6 players down at the 10-yard line. This is the last play of the half. Reasoner is going to be swarmed under. And a flag is down. There may be, well, let's see if it's another hold. That's a quarter. Either face mask or hold. Let's see what
that was just a 4-man rush coming after Reasoner, and they collapsed the pocket on that Johnson offensive line.
That will end the first half.
Yeah. So it was against Johnson, but it's over.
But it's not over till it's really over, and we'll be back. You're listening at halftime, 21-13 as our score. The athletic director for the Northeast Independent School District will be here momentarily, and also the principal of the Johnson Jaguars will be here. We'll be back. You're listening to Frost GPS High School Football. You don't have to be a frequent flyer to know the best rent car location in San Antonio. Budget Rent Car is a locally owned company that provides a fleet of new automobiles and a staff of professionals who have served the thousands of travelers who want quick access to the airport, reasonable prices, and available quality vehicles. That's one name that stands out in the San Antonio rental business. Budget Car and Truck Rental on Sandow Road, just east of 281 North. Phone 210-824-0737. Budget Car San Antonio.
We expect a lot from the teams we give our loyalty to. We expect them to play through the pain, leave it on the field, and give 110%, even though that's impossible. Yet when it comes to the banks we give our money to, we expect less than we do of the backup punter. At Frost, we want to change the way you think about banks entirely by never stopping when it comes to giving you our very best. And if you need to armchair quarterback us sometime, go for it. It'll only make us better. See what you can expect at frostbank.com/expect more.
Dr. Eric Kuhl played high school football, and he knows the importance of keeping your body in good condition to maintain perfect health. He also realizes that a portion of that health is maintaining dental hygiene. In today's society, your teeth are as important as eyes and ears. Gum disease can lead to other physical problems, and Dr. Eric Kuhl can advise, counsel, and demonstrate the best methods of dental maintenance. The office accepts most dental insurance policies, and you'll find a new friend, compassionate doctor as well. Call Dr. Eric Kuhl for an appointment at 210-496-1711 on 281. And don't forget, it's cool to have a great smile. We're very honored to have, for the first time, as his new position has been forthcoming, and he deserves every bit of his educational expertise because he has it all. Gary Comelander is our guest. He is the principal at Johnson, and he's also the son of Jerry Comelander, the name that is legendary in Texas. And Gary, first off, congratulations on being the new head guy at Johnson High School.
Well, thank you, Gary. It is an honor.
And let's look right over there so we can give people an idea.
Well, like I say, it's an honor to have that position and to run a school like Johnson. It's a great place, great community. We have a huge group out here right now supporting both the football players, our band, cheer, dance, everybody. It's great.
When you took over the job, it's always a pressurized situation. And you go into a school of over 3,100 students.
Yes.
And in today's society, with all of the pressures and the problems that are present in society, I guess you had to really have a master plan, didn't you?
Yes, we have to work our plan of how we're going to take care of every student, every program, all the different things that are going on, just about every single day of the year. We really are the school that never sleeps. It is something happening at all time for these kids.
And I remember when you were at Churchill High School, you played football at Churchill, and you went on to Baylor.
Yes, sir.
And, of course, Mark, he played after you did. And your dad has never let me forget that John Jay game against Churchill when Mark threw the pass to
Wally
McCampbell. Time was already out on the clock, and I said something in my inimitable style, and Comelander said, "Oh, you gave up on us, didn't you?" He's never let me forget that. But what a great career you had
years.
At Churchill and at Baylor. You were so fortunate to be a graduate of the Waco School, and there's so much pressure today among the young people, and with everything that's going on around us, and
they have to deal with a lot of things. Yes, they do.
How do you address that, Gary? I mean, to me, it's mind-boggling.
Well, the key is bringing everybody together, having a great staff, the people that work with them daily, getting the community involved, great parents, and just all communicating with each other on what we can do best for the kids. And it's every day working together.
Is there a district master plan, or does each principal have the option to do his own?
Well, we have our district master plan, but our district is great about understanding that every school has its own needs and areas that they need to focus on. And so we get a chance to address that at each school underneath the umbrella of what our district stands for. And our district has stood for a long time for that 360-degree child, to push them in athletics, fine arts, all of our spirit groups, and academically to be the best both in the city and in the state.
And I know when I was in high school, one of the real advantages we had with our principals, Neil Wherry and Lawrence, and then the door was always open if you had a problem.
Yes.
Is that your philosophy?
I try not to ever have that door closed. So I'm very happy to have someone be able to come in and talk to me when they need to. There are times where, yes, I'm got something where I can't step out, but my goal is to be there and to help, whether it be a student, one of our faculty members, or a parent, because at that moment, it's pretty important to them.
Final question. Of all of the involvement you had in athletics and your years at Churchill, what is the most memorable thing you remember about your high school?
Back then, the opportunities that we had to shine in spotlights. And we were fortunate to play 14 games and almost win the state championship when I was a senior. And to get to go places like Memorial Stadium and win games and go to Rice Stadium in the semifinals, those are memories you just never lose.
We've got Dave Wetzel coming to Quarterback Club a week from next Tuesday.
Oh, excellent.
And, of course, being a Baylor grad, I'm sure that you keep up with David and everything that's going on in Waco.
Yes, and in fact, he was nice enough to send me a congratulations and good luck card about 2 weeks ago. So we still communicate here and there, and looking forward to the great things he's doing up there in Waco at Baylor University.
The guy that won 12 letters at Goldwade High School.
I tell you, it's a small town, but they get after it.
Hey, I know you got some things to do as we are being entertained by the Brandeis Marching Band, and I love the resplendency of the uniforms and the hours. People don't understand unless you have a band child. They don't understand that the band kid practices probably more hours than the football team.
Oh, without a doubt. You can't imagine. Our band has been up at school for the last 4 weeks and running a band camp.
And here they go, yep.
The things that they can do are just amazing. And, they're going to be fortunate this year to compete in Indianapolis and Chicago.
That's great.
They have 2 big competitions coming up later this year.
I don't like to say anything about this in public, but I had a lot of sax appeal when I was in high school. In the E flat alto section.
You could play the saxophone? Okay.
Oh, yeah, I was a demon, man. Hey, Gary, thank you, buddy.
Gary, thanks.
Gary Kumalander, the principal at Johnson High School. We'll be back. It's 21-13 at halftime as the Brandeis Broncos lead the Johnson Jaguars. You're listening to Frost High School football.
Some people know me by Smitty. Most people call me Mr. Smith. One day I went to Randolph Brooks Federal Credit Union. Ever since that day, I developed a relationship with Randolph Brooks Federal Credit Union that was second to none. I like RBFCU because they create a stress-free environment. It's all about relationships.
Better banking. It's what we do at RBFCU. Join today at rbfcu.org. Membership eligibility required. Written terms subject to change.
Play the real estate investment game smarter by putting APIA on your team. They are the secret weapon for investors who own 5 or more rental properties. Their custom-built insurance policy allows investors to place their entire real estate portfolio under one policy with one renewal date. Real estate investors win by saving time and improving their cash flow. Call in the experts today. www.apiaprotects.com or call 877-752-2742.
In 2017 alone, 2.8 million U.S. workers were injured on the job. Construction, transportation, manufacturing, oil and gas, and agriculture were among the most dangerous industries for workplace accidents. If you were injured in a workplace accident, call Thomas J. Henry. Thomas J. Henry handles serious workplace accident cases and gets serious results for injured clients. Start your free claim today at tjhlaw.com/radio. That's tjhlaw.com/radio.
San Antonio, Texas.
Whenever a young driver leaves for school, a game, or drives to the mall, parents want a peace of mind knowing where their youngster is located any time of day or night and when they'll be returning home. GPS of Texas provides that parental peace of mind with the high-tech tracking technology provided by Blake Stevens Company that can trace a vehicle from coast to coast and even to Alaska and Hawaii. A feeling of security and safety when GPS of Texas installs that device. Call Blake at 210-587-7634. Live, we are told. We are here at Hero Stadium, and it's at halftime 21-13 as the Johnson Jaguars trail the second-ranked team in the city, according to Express News, the Brandeis Broncos. And this lady ranks number one with me in the administrative setup of all San Antonio Public Schools, and she's a great friend. Karen Funk is the athletic director of the Northeast Independent School District, and she has led the way. She helped blaze a trail for women to be the athletic directors of many major high schools and districts in Texas. Thank you so much for coming up, Karen.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Funk.
No, you can always call me Karen. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me tonight.
We have a whole new concept this year. We're not on radio. We're doing this. This is around the world. You know, and hard. They just went around the world and all the ships at sea. Oh, you know.
It looks like we're going to Oz, if you want to know the truth.
Yeah.
They're behind it. Sorry. That's the only thought I can think of.
60th year, I get a little crazy, you know, that's fine.
That yeah.
But, all right, so you've had a lot of responsibility. You took over one of the great legends of Texas athletics, Jerry Comalander, and Gary was so nice to talk to us a minute ago. But when you assumed this position as a member of the distaff side of society, what was your number one obstacle? Just to prove that you could do it as a woman?
I think to make sure that those people who had the doubts in the back of their head, that I disproved that. But really, truly, I didn't have huge obstacles in front of me because I'd been at the athletic office for a while and because I'd been in athletics all my life. So I knew what people thought. I just did my job and did it well to the best of my ability and moved right on down the road and didn't pay attention to them.
Now, give us a little background on your athletic accomplishments before you became administrator.
So I coached for 21 years. I coached for 21 years before I ever went to the athletic office. And so 2 years at a middle school, which will teach you a lot of things in life. And then I spent 5 years in SISD at Highlands High School, and then I went to Madison for 14 of those.
You've done a great job. I know Lisa Campos is now athletic director at UTSA, following in one of the great shadows of Lynn Hickey, who I thought she was the finest woman athletic director in the nation's colleges.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. She set a standard and a bar that I think it's going to take a while for people to,
I agree.
For somebody to pass that piece.
Yep.
But even more importantly, she came from such a simple background and then turned around and moved herself steadily up and broadened the horizon for women across the country.
And what people don't realize here in San Antonio, well, a lot of people do, really, I guess, especially in the media, but she was, I think, solely responsible for bringing in the Final Four.
Absolutely.
She really led the way.
Absolutely.
And she didn't get enough credit, I know that. And I talked to her before she left, and she was 66 years old when she took the job at Eastern Washington. And I called her and told her how much I appreciated her and her great talents and abilities and her cooperation all the years that she had to put up with people like me. And she said, well, Gary, I'm 66, and I want to work a few more years, which is understandable. Yeah. My gosh, I'm even older than that, and here I am, still doing it, you know. And so it's... you have to have somebody as a pathfinder, and she was.
And she was, and she loved working every day. She loved what she did, and when she put the football program together at UTSA, it was a dream. I mean, she could see UTSA becoming down the road, I'm going to say this, A&M. And that was her goal, to make that, to bring that kind of enthusiasm and rabid fans to the Alamo City. And she worked tirelessly on that all the time.
What is your number one obstacle right now that you have to face in your district?
Probably the fact that we have some kids who, we have families that are choosing not to come to public schools and stay within their community, and choosing to go outside of that and look for some other interests. I think our schools do a great job.
I do too.
I think every one of our schools offers kids opportunities that they're not going to get in other environments. And I think our schools teach them how to work with kids that don't look like them. You know, because when you go to work, not everybody thinks exactly like you. So I think that's the only obstacle, because we have a middle school that is tiny, tiny, tiny. And if all those kids in that neighborhood came there, it would really help. That's it.
While you're here, Rob has got something set up for us. As you well know, there have been some deaths that prominent people. Jim Cullum, the great trumpeter, he passed away last week. And then Lila Cockrell this week. A great friend of mine, Jim Lavelle, just died 2 nights ago. And Rob has got this all set up. I want you to hear it while you're up here.
Okay.
This is something about Jim Lavelle.
It is now 11:21 Sunday morning. KLIF reporter Gary DeLaune is in the basement garage of police headquarters, awaiting the transfer of Lee Harvey Oswald to the county jail, and is witness to Oswald's murder. You'll hear an automobile horn sound 4 times. Immediately following the 4th blast, you'll hear the shot that took Oswald's life. The repetition of DeLaune's words is due not only to the extreme excitement, but to the fact that he had been bowled over by the rush of police officers and was, at that time, flat on his back.
Several, perhaps even 100 newsmen are on hand. Secret Service, FBI agents, and deputy officers, along with police officers of the Dallas City Police Department, are making sure that everyone stands a safe distance away from the path in which Oswald will take. And here he comes, Lee Oswald, the accused assassin. Captain Will Fritz leading the way, being escorted by police officers and sheriff. The shot rang out. The shot has rung out. And Lee Oswald falls.
Lee Oswald fell. He was handcuffed at the time to Jim Lavelle, who had been a veteran police officer, was put in charge of the JFK assassination and the shooting of J.D. Tippit by Lee Harvey Oswald. And a very close friend of mine, and he had such a great life at 99. I was up to his birthday party last Friday. So just wanted to play that in his honor. His funeral service will be next Saturday. I'm going to fly up to Dallas just to attend it. So
I saw that on the news. We were living we were up in the Panhandle at the time, and it was my brother's birthday. I remember that even as young as I was.
It still gives me chills to recreate it, and I had a horrible recorder because it was not good quality, and we were lucky to get anything at all. But those were tragic times.
They were, but we had a country that rallied together and made a difference as we moved forward, and I hope that's what we do again.
Well, as Ronald Reagan once said, Karen, a country not under God is a country gone under. So let's hope that we are going to be on his level pretty soon.
I hope so too.
Karen Funk, the great athletic director for the Northeast Independent School District, 21-13 at halftime. The guys will be back when we come back. This is Frost High School Football.
In 2003, while playing in a football game for San Marcos Academy, Chris Canales, already offered a college scholarship, was involved in a tackle that transformed his life forever. He suffered a spinal cord injury and was left physically paralyzed, but Chris didn't allow the debilitating injury to affect his involvement with football. Since that time, Chris and Eddie have formed Gridiron Heroes, and now they have the support of many of the college coaches around the country, an organization helping players and families recover from catastrophic traffic injuries. Gridiron Heroes. You can contact them at www.gridironheroes.org or call 210-849-9250. In 1970, Ford began as a small printing company with 3 employees and the hope for the future. Today, Eagle Print has soared into the business community with 30 employees and the most efficient high-tech and graphic equipment in San Antonio. Maybe you need to print up a business plan for your next venture, or you might need a new marketing brochure for a top client. Ray's been involved with planning and designing such things for many, many years. His business cards are true marquees for business, professional, and personal use. That's Eagle Print, located at 8938 Broadway, north of Loop 410. Call 822-1908.
According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, motorcyclists are 26 times more likely to die in a crash compared to other motorists. Motorcycle accidents can cause severe injuries from road rash and broken bones to spinal injuries, brain injuries, and death. If you or a loved one were injured in a motorcycle crash, call Thomas J. Henry. Thomas J. Henry handles serious motorcycle accidents and gets serious results for injured clients. Start your free claim today at tjhlaw.com/radio.
San Antonio, Texas.
Football has a long list of decorated heroes, yet it's the heroes that we encounter every day off the field that often make the greatest impact on our lives. For more than 75 years, BCFS has been a beacon of hope for children, families, and communities throughout Texas and around the world. Whether it's on the front lines of disaster response, providing medical care and shelter to survivors of hurricanes, tornadoes, tsunamis, or other emergencies. BCFS, a global system of health and human service nonprofits, making a profound difference in the lives of millions around the world.
Company cars, trucks, SUVs, vans, and fleet vehicles are involved in thousands of accidents every year. An accident with a company vehicle is not just another car accident. If you were injured in a company vehicle accident, call Thomas J. Henry. Thomas J. Henry handles serious company vehicle accident cases and gets serious results for injured clients. Start your free claim today at tjhlaw.com/radio. That's tjhlaw.com/radio.
San Antonio, Texas.
Hey, we are back here live at Heroes Stadium, where it's halftime at the Brandeis Broncos Johnson Jaguar game. And here with a recap of the first half scoring is Mark Witherall.
Brandeis starts the scoring off with a 5-play, 74-yard drive and 1:21 off the clock as 8-yard pass from Jordan Battles to Holmes makes it 7-0 Brandeis. Just after that kickoff, Justin Rodriguez takes a 1-play drive, 76 yards, and ties the score at 7-7. Brandeis then with the next score with a 2-yard run from Jordan Battles, his first touchdown of the night through the ground. 5 plays, 25 yards, 2:29 off the clock. Brandeis scores again on a 20-yard run by Battles with 1:21 off the clock. A 65-yard drive makes it 21-7. And right before halftime, 1-yard play, 75-yard pass from Ty Reesner to Shane Johnson makes it 21-13 as the extra point failed. Want to bring in Walter for some stats?
Okay, this first half stats. Brandeis has 12 first downs to 7 for Johnson. Rushing for Brandeis, 208 yards. Passing for 38 yards, total of 246 yards. On the other side, Johnson has 114 yards rushing, 81 yards passing for a total of 195. Third downs, Brandeis 1 of 5, Johnson 2 of 6. We've had some penalties, which is normal for the first game of the year. 7 penalties for 70 yards for Brandeis and 4 penalties for 40 yards for Johnson. We've seen some defense in this first half. We've seen some long plays, and I think we're going to continue seeing that in the second half.
What are the keys, Mark, for Johnson to get back in and fight for a chance to win this game?
Well, I'll tell you, if I'm in the locker room right now, I'm telling my young Johnson Jaguar team that they're going toe-to-toe, and they're taking punches from a second-ranked team in the city. and they're giving back just as good as they got. I mean, they got down there for a little bit. You could see the momentum over on the other sideline, on the visitor sideline, but they stole it back. So I think if all you do is tell them it's not over, it's halftime, you're within striking distance, cut down on the mistakes. Don't be so excited to jump off sides or hit that guy after the whistle. Just cut down the mistakes. Let the game plan come to you. They're going to make some adjustments at halftime. I think they'll be okay.
And both teams are set to come back onto the field in just a few seconds. But the Brandeis Broncos, with a little bit of a lead here, they do get the ball here. They deferred at the first half, so they will have the opportunity to take the ball here with this opening kickoff. They'll have the wind at their back, I believe. And so opportunity here for Brandeis to really get some distance here. And I think if you mentioned it all throughout the first half, if they can just refrain from mistakes, they can actually put away the Jaguars early.
And that's it, I think, where you can say, let's cut down the mistakes for Johnson. You've got to be on the Brandeis side saying you've got to cut down the mistakes, because the only reason this game is as close as it is Brandeis is shooting themselves in the foot quite a bit. And we're not talking about just, fast-paced play. We're talking about after the whistle, dumb things like hitting somebody. They had a Brandeis player ejected. We're talking about 70 yards of penalties, and you just can't play that way no matter how good you are. You're letting the team hang around.
Right.
You got to come out. And I think it's a razor's edge game right now that, you could fall off on one side of the razor's edge and say it's going to be a blowout in the second half, or now it's going to be a tight, hard-fought game, and Johnson's got a chance to pull off the upset.
Yeah, and Rittiman historically has done a good job of making halftime adjustments and keeping his team in the game. Well, we'll be right back after this quick break for the second half. You're listening to Frost High School Football.
We expect a lot from the teams we give our loyalty to. We expect them to play through the pain, leave it on the field, and give 110%, even though that's impossible. Yet when it comes to the banks we give our money to, we expect less than we do of the backup punter. At Frost, we want to change the way you think about banks entirely by never stopping when it comes to giving you our very best. And if you need to armchair quarterback us sometime, go for it. It'll only make us better. See what you can expect at frostbank.com/expect more.
APIA specializes in real estate investor insurance. For years, investors have struggled managing individual insurance policies. So APIA built a program to put investors' properties under one insurance policy. They've been helping investors save time and improve cash flow nationwide since 2001. APIA has the flexibility to meet the unique demands of both investors and financial institutions. Call in the real estate asset protection experts today, www.apiaprotects.com, or call 877-752-2742.
While some banks are slow to approve auto loans, RBFCU is hitting the gas. With one of San Antonio's lowest loan rates and fast online approval, you'll have more time and money to live life your way. Apply today at rbfcu.org. Subject to credit approval, rates and terms subject to change. Other restrictions may apply. Better rates. It's what we do at RBFCU.
Hard work, dedication, commitment. Qualities that are found on a winning football team and qualities that you should look for in a contractor. Central Builders has conducted their businesses by these qualities for 25 years. The dedication has resulted in coast-to-coast clients who aim to build, remodel, and restore their large and small businesses. Many school districts and grocery chains, such as H-E-B, have selected CBI as their first string to implement and improve existing structures as well. Call CBI 210-590-0235.
Ready to go with the third quarter. We want to thank our guest, Gary Kumalander, principal at Johnson High School, and Karen Funk, the athletic director for the Northeast Independent School District. And I want to thank you for being with us on this first Friday night football game in Texas schoolboy annals, the national sport of Texas. And we welcome you aboard. Brackenridge became the first San Antonio State champions with a 23-13 win over Highland Park those many years ago. And, of course, in 1963, the greatest high school game in Texas history, it was called by the Dallas Morning News. Robert E. Lee, 55, Brackenridge, 48, and we'll be at Alamo Stadium next Friday night for the Brack Lee game, as the Robert E. Lee Volunteers of yesteryear will be there in force to play the Brackenridge Eagles.
So when Brackenridge won that state title, they won another one in 80 something, 82 something like that. But they were called Wheatley at that time, wasn't that? Does that still count?
Wheatley were the Wheatley Wildcats, I think, weren't they? I'm not sure if they were. I'm not sure if they were the Wheatley Eagles. That was very controversial. I know Fred Lozano was very unhappy. He had gone to Brackenridge, and he didn't like it when they changed the name to Wheatley. He said, "I went to Brackenridge." Probably were.
Yeah, but it's like 82 or 83 because and it was a very talented team that went. I mean, it was like
I can tell you one of the star players was named Lewis Sheffield. He was a cousin to Warren McVeigh. Unfortunately, he got caught in a spur-of-the-moment robbery of a savings and loan. He got sent to prison instead of getting his scholarship to Texas Tech.
Oh, boy.
So here is the third quarter in Chase Holly.
And it'll be Reed Kinney on the kickoff. And there are two deep in the receiving territory. And it is a deep ball out of bounds. It could have been rolled into the end zone, but I think the wind just had little effect on it, and it made it go out of bounds. Or that too. So now it'll be Brandeis Broncos ball. Head general of the Brandeis offense, of course, Jordan Battles, along with Corian Holmes, Jay Rangel, Alex Palomino, Joshua Suarez as receivers.
I want to see if Hunsinger is back in a few moments for the Jaguars. He was shaken up in the first half.
Now he's over there on crutches behind the sideline there, Gary.
That's not good.
So it'll be double wide out set left. Here's Battles handing it off to Corian Holmes, and Holmes has nowhere to go, and the Johnson Jaguars shut that play down.
This is a big series for the Johnson defense. I mean, they halftime adjustments, they're going to come out. If they throw 3 and out at them, Johnson's really going to get a charge and feel that they can play with this team no matter where they came from.
So that's going to be a gain of 3, and it'll make it 2nd and 7. And it'll be trips set to the left. Corian Holmes. And here's Battles with the handoff to Corian Holmes, and he picks up a gain of 4.
You know, I think they've closed the gap a little bit defensively, because that's the second time now that they've had success in stopping the onrushing attack of the Brandeis Broncos.
Well, on paper, and I know they don't play them on paper, you'd think this Broncos offense would just run all over them. But for every play Johnson makes, they get a little more confidence, and you know it's hard to stop a confident team.
5-2 defense now as they try to adjust their defense to stop that great attack.
Here's Battles looking to throw, and he's keeping it, and he's
short of the first down.
No, he got the
first
first
he got
down.
it. He did.
He got it, but he paid for it. There's some linebackers back there that have orange on their helmets now because
Brandon Brown.
They met him there, and it's like I said, I don't mind giving up a first down. You're not hurting yourself. You just keep playing with this team, and the more confidence you'll get.
Pick up a 6 on the play by Jordan Battles. So it'll be a double wide out set to the right. That'll be Joshua Suarez out wide right. Single receiver on the left. Here's a man in motion. Jordan Battles, fake handoff, and he
paid the price, didn't he?
Oh. Loss of 2 on the play. That'll make it 2nd and 12.
Yeah, that's Hayden Stockton. Just met him after he pulled the ball out of the pocket of that running back, and lost of 2 there just because there was some penetration on that offensive line.
Yeah, and also in there was Alec Gonzalez, the 209-pound junior.
The Johnson Jags are starting to pick up on a little bit of the Brandeis Broncos offense. Corian Holmes going to the right of Jordan Battles. Double wide out set to the right, single set to the left. Here's Jordan Battles rolling to his right, looking for a receiver to pass to, and it is caught, and that is Suarez, and he gets the first down and a little bit more. So the ball will be marked at the 44-yard line.
That's a heck of a weapon that Brandeis has to be able to roll out a quarterback with that kind of athleticism in battles, and battles can throw on the run. So it just opens up a number of things you can do against the defense that doesn't know what's coming next.
We'll go down to Charles Vickers after this next play.
Double wide out set to the left, single set to the right. Here's Battles putting a man in motion, and it is the handoff to Corian Holmes, and he is down at the 36-yard line.
Colton Lee again on the stop. Let's go down to Charles.
Guys, just here by the Brandeis Broncos, eating away the clock a little bit at a time. It's one of those drives that could really break the heart of the Jaguars.
2nd and 1.
So the Brandeis Broncos are trying to wind that clock down, as Charles said. It'll be trip set to the left with 8 minutes, 25 seconds left on the clock. Battles puts a man in motion, and he hands it off to Corian Holmes, and Corian Holmes gains the first down and a little bit more, and he is down at the 30-yard line, or the 29. So that's a gain of 9 for old Corian Holmes.
Gonzalez again on the stop.
101 yards, 11 carries for Corian Holmes. So it'll be trip set to the left. And here is Battles. Takes the snap. He's rolling to his left now, looking for a receiver to throw to. He throws it deep into the end zone. He's getting fought off, and that looks like a pass interference, and that's a flag.
Yeah, that defensive back, Gary, that defensive back had a little bit of jersey and leaned on him too much as that ball was in the air.
And Alex Palomino was the thoroughbred Bronco that was racing into the end zone.
Yeah, just well underthrown ball, but really not much of an opportunity for the Bronco receiver to get back to it.
So that'll be
unfortunately not much the Johnson defenders could do.
If they go in here, it's going to be a difficult time in the third quarter with 7:42 to play.
Yes, it will be. That'll be a 15-yard penalty. So that'll be making it 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line for the Brandeis Broncos. Or 14-yard line. Here's Battles looking to his right, throws it to Suarez on a little bubble pass, and Suarez is down to the 10-yard line.
Pick up of 4.5. And, the Jaguars seem to be just about a half step short or slow of getting there in time to stop the pass. They're close, but they just haven't had that extra speed to get in there.
That Johnson defense needs to create a negative play here, get back in the backfield, do some disruption.
So it'll be same formation with the trip set to the left, and here's the handoff, or fake handoff, and it's Battles, and he's leaping into the end zone. And that is a touchdown for Jordan Battles. 9-yard run.
Well, he has the third of tonight. He had 38 touchdowns last year, and he had 1,646 yards rushing. And boy, he is such an impressive youngster. It was a sophomore record, by the way, his number of touchdowns.
Sophomore record. Here's the PAT, and that's Xavier Lopez putting it through the uprights to make it 28-13. Brandeis Broncos are in the lead with 6 minutes and 58 seconds to go.
Pull away now here in the third quarter, and the Jags will get the ball. You're listening to Frost High School Football on GPS Sports.
We expect a lot from the teams we give our loyalty to. We expect them to play through the pain, leave it on the field, and give 110%, even though that's impossible. Yet when it comes to the banks we give our money to, we expect less than we do of the backup punter. At Frost, we want to change the way you think about banks entirely by never stopping when it comes to giving you our very best. And if you need to armchair quarterback us sometime, go for it. It'll only make us better. See what you can expect at frostbank.com/expect more.
And we do want to thank GPS and Blake Stevens for being with us, as he was last year, as he tracks the device for people like Chase as they drive home, so his mother will know where he is every moment of every day.
Gets on my nerves.
And So we have a new score and a new challenge now for the Johnson Jaguars. Next week will be Friday night return on memory lane, Brackenridge Lee at Alamo Stadium.
And here's Xavier Lopez with the quick kick, and it is a short kick.
They did call a fair catch on that one, but they did not catch it, so the ball's on the ground. Let's see who comes up with it. Looks like they were able to get on top of it. Same thing, just a better result this time for Johnson.
The guy, number 8, was the youngster who managed to come up with it.
For Johnson, number 8 is Cole Cuerva. One of the upbacks there was able to fall on it for Johnson. Otherwise, Brandeis would have had a new set of downs. That last drive by Brandeis, 9 plays, 70 yards, 5:02 off the clock. Jordan Battles goes in from 9 yards.
On the board in the third quarter. So here's Elvin Simpson in motion. Ty Reasoner takes the snap, and it's a handoff to Justin Rodriguez, and that burst of speed, and he evades the tackle, and he got the first down.
Boy, he's got great quickness off the ball, doesn't he?
He does, and he evaded that tackle like nobody's business. I don't know what you would call that, Gary DeLaune. Maybe you can come up with something clever.
Well, he is just an impressive runner.
He's got that fleet feet.
More unpredictable than a Ben Affleck relationship.
So it'll be Elvin Simpson and Shane Johnson going out to the wide right and Randall on the wide left. And here's Elvin Simpson in motion. Ty Reasoner looking over to his left. Now he's rolling to his left, and he's getting pressured, and he throws it out of bounds.
Going to be a holding call on the Johnson offensive line, holding just a hard guy coming in there. There's Joshua Green.
It's really tough to hold out those big on-rushing linemen because they're so big and so quick. And when you got 215, 218, and 250, and you're down 3, you got to be really on your horse.
That's Joshua Green's
and they're
a junior.
They're without William Hunsinger, who stayed out of the game and is wrapped up for the night with a wrap on his left knee.
6 penalties, 65.
I hope that he's able to return. And the first game would be such a heck of a way to go out for your junior year.
So it'll be trip set to the left. And it looks to be as the Brandeis Broncos coaches talking it over with the side judge.
I think the conversation there is they wanted 10 yards from the spot of the foul versus just 10 yards from the line of scrimmage because it was holding in the pocket back there. I don't know what else they could be complaining about. There's still a conversation. Now the referee's going over to speak to Coach Branscombe.
You know, there aren't as many people supporting the Broncos tonight as I thought there would be on a Friday night. Of course, it is Labor Day weekend. It's going to be the heaviest travel Labor Day in modern times, according to the airport. And
where'd you find that factual information from?
I made it up.
Oh.
I've been watching CNN.
Oh, that's great, Gary. That's just great.
I just thought Labor Day meant you had to have your babies and be in labor the whole day.
No, it's for relaxation. Okay, here's Reasoner rolling out to his left, and he's looking for a receiver. He has a man open, and that's Randall, and he is hit hard.
But just like his daddy taught him, he hung onto the ball.
And making that hit was Jalen Rainey.
He has grown to 6'3" this year, and he's also a great basketball player for the Jaguars. Gained of 23 yards.
That's another well-designed play as there's 2 receivers and only 1 DB back there to cover him. So the adjustment by Coach Riddiman or at halftime there.
So it'll be Randall and Simpson going out towards the right with Shane Johnson isolated by himself on the left. Here's Simpson in motion. Here's
could have been offside there. I think the right defensive tackle moved. There could have been.
Well, they're stopping the play. The defensive lineman jumped in.
Joshua Green.
Somebody jumped on the offensive line, but I think they're arguing to see which way it goes. It's 5 yards one way or another. After the discussion, we'll figure it out.
Well, Joshua didn't fit the Battle of Jericho there, but he may have lost it up there in the line of scrimmage. Nope, it's going to be against the Jaguars. 7 penalties now for each team. But it's the first game of the year. I've made a lot of penalties tonight myself. But that is costly when you look so good at a driving thrust. 3-man front.
It'll be Randall and Simpson going out towards the right. Here's Simpson in motion. And he's going back to the same spot he was at. And here's Reasoner dropping out, rolling to his right now, getting pressured. He throws it to Shane Johnson, and Shane Johnson has the first down, but I think it's going to be coming back.
Yeah,
another penalty.
Oh, that's just a. You talk about getting gray hair before you want your offensive line to do anything like that. My goodness.
And I think that's Coach Ron Ritterman right now on the sideline as he looks in awe of what he sees.
That's a big penalty that brings back a big reception.
Because, because actually Reasoner has done such a good job of evading arrest because he has had the sheriff's posse on him all night long. And that's their 8th penalty.
But hopefully they will not be making these same mistakes as we go deeper into the season.
They've got to go all the way to the 27 for a first down.
So it'll be double wideout set both sides. Here's Rodriguez in motion. Reasoner takes the snap and is throwing it to Rodriguez, and that's another penalty on the play, and Rodriguez is knocked out of bounds.
Well, this is what happens, though, guys, when you get so tired. You make mental mistakes as well as physical errors.
I do so myself.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Haven't you noticed that? I spend a lot of time with you, so you better notice it every day.
Hey, kid, you don't get paid next week.
Oh. Okay.
Well, let's see. They said offside Brandeis, so they move it forward 5. But it's still, they've got to go to New Braunfels.
Yeah, but it's first down, so they.
Yeah, they overcame a 1st and 20 a while ago. Let's see if they can do it again here in order to get back in this football game.
So it'll be Shane Johnson going out toward the wide side. Simpson and Randall. On the left side, here's Simpson in motion. Reasoner takes the snap, hands it off to Rodriguez, and Rodriguez is trying to find space.
Boy,
he's going towards the outside.
Oh, he's got
that
great
speed,
outside quickness.
He is just locked down by the roaming Brandeis Broncos defense.
Oh, yeah. He is so quick to get outside. But, I mean, to tell you, he got racked just as he got
by Frank Wilson.
Yeah.
Now, Frank Wilson IV is laying the wood to people tonight. He had a full head of steam and met Justin Rodriguez on the sideline there, and they both went in the direction of Wilson because that's where the momentum was coming from. That was a big hit on the sideline.
Both of the safeties for the Brandeis Broncos really know how to lay hard.
Oh, I agree. I agree 100%.
Mr. Wilson used to squeeze the Sherman. I tell you what, he has got a lot of squeezing going on.
Reasoner dropping back to pass, and he is being pressured, and he somehow gets out of that tackle, and now he's running, and he's to the 50, he's to the 40, he's to the 30,
he may go.
He's to the 20, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 15-yard line.
Give that youngster plenty of credit. If you try, Ty, you can fly, and he did.
That is all Ty Reasoner as he is in the arms of Joshua Green over on the right hash mark, and he spins out of it, comes all the way back, and turns on a burst of speed and gets all the way down to the 15-yard line.
And Charles is right there as he goes out of bounds.
Yeah, it looked like he was dead in the pocket, but he did a nice job of spinning out of that first stack. And he outrun everybody to the 15-yard line.
He goes 32 yards, but that's the biggest play of the game, I think, for the Jaguars to keep the drive alive. Another flag.
Yeah.
Timeout.
Up, a whistle. They called timeout before they were caught for delay of game. So they put a thistle in the whistle, and we'll be back. You're listening to Frost High School Football on GDP Sports.
Every family wants the assurance that their most valuable possessions are protected and secure for the future. That's why you need the most insurance coverage that budgets can afford. Even though his company is headquartered in Texas, John Lester is expanding his company from coast to coast. He has recently added several major insurance companies to better serve his growing clientele. You are protected from hurricane, fire, auto accidents, even a polar bear attack. John Lester once played linebacker for the Bastrop Bears, knows the importance of insurance. Call John Lester's Insure 1-210-541-9771.
We're back at Hero Stadium with 4 minutes 36 seconds left on the clock in the third quarter. And it'll be Johnson's turn to strike at that end zone territory.
On this date in 1996, efforts to raise the Titanic failed when tow line snapped. And right now, we've got Ship Ahoy if they can go with the first down.
Ship Ahoy with the double wide out set to both sides. And here's Rodriguez going over to the right side now to make it trips. And here's Reasoner looking to the isolated receiver. That's Shane Johnson. And Shane Johnson had it in his hands, but he was getting covered by cornerback for Brandeis Broncos.
Good toss, though. He timed it perfectly and could have gone either way.
Fall for any kind of trickery on the line of scrimmage, stayed with his receiver the whole time.
Trip set right.
That'll be Elvin Simpson, Randall, and Johnson. Here's Simpson motioning over now, going back to the same spot. Here's Reasoner handing it off to Justin Rodriguez on the reverse, and Rodriguez is down to the 5 and knocked out of bounds at about the 4-yard line.
I tell you, pound for pound, he may be the best running back in the city. He's only 5'8",
but he's quick.
Well, he's hard to bring down, too, and I'm sure he's going to be one of the leading rushers after the week 1, but that was a great play call. The defensive lineman was stunning inside and just got a whiff of Justin Rodriguez as he ran by him.
So it'll be double wide out set to the right with Randall isolated on the left. It's on the 3-yard line. Here's Simpson in motion. And it's a handoff to Rodriguez, and Rodriguez trying to catch me. Cuts to the left and right into the end zone.
He made a Barber College cut on that, didn't he?
He just got his ankles broken.
That was a Mohawk haircut if I've ever seen one, baby.
Yeah, Kane Buchanan, number 25 for Brandeis, thought he had Justin Rodriguez, and all he had was air as Justin put his foot in the ground and turned up into the end zone and saw nothing but daylight. That's a massive, massive turn of events there, getting back in the game.
He made a better move than Joe Biden on the speaking tour.
Here's the
and another block.
And it's a block, and
this one may get returned.
This one might get returned. Oh, it's a shoelace tackle by Ty Reasoner.
Reasoner just saved 2 points for his team because he was the only thing standing between that blocked kick going back all the way.
Yeah, and trying to go all the way was Caleb Pronk.
Well, he had a clean scoop and score there, and if it wasn't for Reasoner not giving up on it and getting a shoestring tackle, to be honest with you, that would have been an extra 2 points. But yeah, there's two extra points that you left on the board, and now you've got more than a score to make up for.
Well, over on the far side, they're saying if you want to stop, you honk for Pronk, man, and they did. And it is now a score 28-19. And we're on GDP Sports, but we'll keep it right here.
That last drive, Gary, 8 plays, 73 yards. Took 3:02 off the clock. A 3-yard run by Justin Rodriguez makes the score 28-19 with that failed extra point.
Back in the 1920s, Waco High School was the powerhouse of Texas, winning 3 football titles. And then in the 30s, it was Amarillo High.
Rodriguez, 12 carries, 135 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the night.
Now you're going to see temporary timeout as they have to set the pigskin back on the tee. A lot of fun here on this opening night of 2019.
So here's Reed Kinney with the kick, and it's a out-of-bounds kick.
Well, they want to keep it away from that speed, and they just can't get it where he wants it to go. So
yeah, but you know, it's almost 30. Like on a golf course. If you're hitting it right all the time, turn your feet a little bit. Maybe you know.
Incidentally, he was kicking it to his left during the pregame warm-ups. Chase and I mentioned that to each other.
He was kicking it towards his left.
Well, Chase has got some experience. You tell me, is there something you can do to adjust to do that? Or
he seems to be, when he kicks the ball, he's bringing his leg across his body, which whenever your leg is following like that, of course your body's going to follow along with it, aiming your body towards the left.
It just goes to show you that anytime you go too far left, you've leaned the wrong way.
That's right. Don't ever go left.
Don't ever go left.
Handoff. Look out. Wow.
That is Holmes on the carry. Pick up a 12 for the first down.
112 yards on 13 carries.
Ball set at the 42-yard line.
Crucial point of this game, guys, is if you're Johnson and you can make a defensive stand here again, you get confidence and you start getting those Broncos to question themselves as to whether they're in a fight or not.
Yep.
So it'll be double wideout set to the left. It'll be Battles handing it off to Holmes, and Holmes has nowhere to go. Stopped by that Johnson defensive line. That big number 99 coming in there for the Johnson
Oh,
Jags.
yeah, and he shakes his head over toward the bench and says, see there what I can do?
And that's
El Amin Bawa. Amin. El Amin.
El Amin.
He looked like a wall on that one, and he had 2 Brandeis offensive linemen trying to block him, and he wouldn't be denied. He got to that running back and put him down.
So it'll be trip set to the left with Holmes on Battle's right side. Here's Battles taking the snap, hands it off to Holmes. Holmes looking for a hole, still has nowhere to go.
Well, it was just like
Gain of
Holmes'
2.
old Ironside. I tear her tattered ensign down, long as it waved on high, and many banners seen in the sky. That was by Oliver Wendell Holmes, not Cordial.
So that'll be, make it 3rd and 7, or 3rd and 6. So it'll be double wide out set both sides.
2:05 to go in the quarter.
Here's Holmes going back over to be on Battle's left side. Here's Battles rolling to his left, looking for a receiver now.
Daylight.
And he's got daylight to the first down and runs out of bounds. Right at the marker.
Yeah, Johnson brought a linebacker, Joseph Hernandez, and Joseph did not keep contained and let Battle outside of him. And all the defensive backs had their back to the line of scrimmage by that point. Battles just saw the first down marker and moved the chains.
That's a pickup of 6 for Battles. 20 first downs for the Brandeis Broncos. 10 for Johnson.
Back in 1953, the NBA Boston Celtics star Robert Parrish was born.
So it'll be double wide out set to the left. Here's a man in motion. Oh, going back over to Battles.
Whistle.
Here's the whistle and the flag.
Delay.
Play clock. Out. That's the break the Johnson defense may need in order to get off the field now, give their offense another chance.
With a minute and 52 seconds left in the third quarter. Here's Battles taking the snap, hands it off, and he makes his way back down to the 44-yard line.
Making the stop in that deep secondary as he had to come up to do it. Was number 22 for the tiring Johnson Jaguars.
So it'll be 2nd and 8. Double wide out set to the right. A single receiver on the left. Holmes to Battles left. And here's another penalty flag.
Man, that's worse than a sorority house during hay fever season with all those flags and hankers going out.
Once again, it was
cut out there, Charles. Try it again.
I'm not sure if where I cut off, but
what you're going to say was censored twice.
10 penalties for 90.
90 yards and penalties.
Here's Battles rolling to his right, looking for a receiver. He's got a man open. To the 30, the 20, the 10, and he is knocked down at the 5-yard line and making that beautiful reception in the middle of the open pasture was Alex Palomino.
Had two Johnson defenders go for the ball and just miss it, and just off their fingertips must be for that ball to line up with the receiver.
He was faster than Trigger, and he was a real Palomino too, wasn't he?
So if he trips set to the left with the clock ticking, 40 seconds left to go.
They could put it away right here.
Here's Battles handing it off to Holmes. Holmes looking, he's cutting back, and he's got a gain.
Oh, he made a better move than Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers' dance step there. That was beautifully done. He was going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage, and he gained a yard or two.
Pick up 4 yards, so that'll be 2nd and 1 as the clock ticks down to 15 seconds. Brandeis has 3 timeouts left, so they can call a timeout.
It looks like they're just willing to walk it off and start the fourth quarter on the other end on the 1.
You know, it's amazing if you're down on the field and you look from one end zone to the other, and it seemed like a long way down there, doesn't it?
It does.
And these guys can make it so quick.
Well, they have something that I don't have anymore, and that's called youth. Because when you're young, you don't mind running 99 yards. When you're not so young, you feel every step of the 99 yards.
Well, I don't know if I ever had much youth, but I sure had a lot of couth.
That's right. You still got a lot of that.
Yeah.
Are you sure that's not youth, Gary? Because you act 20. You always got to go to some party.
It's the end of the third quarter and the end of our composure here. But Brandeis 28, Johnson 19. And
well, my neighbors has got a nice garden, and I always like to be like, and Ricky Nelson has, he's done a great job on our garden party. Let's go out in the patio and get some scores from Rob Hicks.
Madison is going to get shut out tonight in the opening with Clemens leading 28-0.
Hey, watch out for Clemens. They are tough out there.
Roosevelt's leading 31-7 over Southwest. Taft is leading Lee 27-14. East Central is beating Corpus Christi Ray 41-10. Alamo Heights is ahead of New Braunfels Unicorns 14-7. Lavernia over Centon in late in the fourth quarter 35-14.
Are you getting paid by the Chamber of Commerce to
That's right. You got it. I'm a Lavernia Bear now.
Yeah.
First play of the fourth quarter sees Holmes tripped up and down to the 1-foot line. Not in the touchdown yet.
Almost Holmes. So it'll be 3rd and a foot. And here's another penalty flag. And that'll be on the Brandeis Broncos, moving them
I hope these referees have had plenty of water breaks because, man, they've had to really work their
arms out.
Shift tonight.
It's early in the year.
Guilty party on that play, number 94, got a couple pats on the head and then sent to the sidelines.
Once again, that referee crew, Charlie Wernette is the referee. Charlie Salinas, the umpire. Charles Salinas Jr. is the head linesman. Darren Harden, the line judge. Charles Marquette is the back judge. Ronald Wiseman is the field judge.
Here's Battles handing it off to Holmes, and Holmes has nowhere to go, and the Johnson Jaguars are all over him, pouncing on him like a bunch of Jags. Loss of one.
10:40 to go in the game.
So that'll make it 4th and 6. And it looks as if they're going to take the field goal. Here's Xavier Lopez taking the steps.
23-yarder.
As he kicks the ball, it goes up high, far, and it's good. And that'll make it 31-19. Brandeis Broncos in the lead with 10 minutes, 19 seconds.
And you're listening to Frost High School Football. We'll be back.
In 1984, high school students were dancing to the song Hey Mickey. That same year, Sherry Armstrong opened Mecca Sportswear to provide those students with quality leather jackets along with all district and all state patches. Well, now, 3 decades later, Sherry and her family are still providing custom leather jackets and award patches to South Texas' greatest student achievers. Call toll-free 844-HEY Mecca. Hey Mecca, 844-HEY-MECA.
We're back.
Yeah, we're back, and it's going to be a tough fourth quarter here with 10:19 to go. 12-point deficit.
Gary, that scoring drive, 10 yards, 64 or 10 plays, 64 yards, 5:06 off the clock. That's the important part. 23-yard field goal by Xavier Lopez brings the score to Brandeis 31, Johnson 19.
Hey, here's a trivia question for you. What school is the institution appearing in more state title games than any other school in Texas?
All right, good.
No. The Judson Rockets.
We love the Judson Rockets.
Yep, we do. What a great era they had under Frank Arnold and Elizabeth Rutledge.
And here's Xavier Lopez with the pooch kick, and it goes to the 25-yard line, and it is caught by Justin Rodriguez, and he has some room, and he's going on the sideline. He has some speed, he's still going.
That kid can move, man.
And he is downed at the 37-yard line.
I think it's all for naught. There's a flag,
What a shame. What a shame.
He has fleet feet and swift moves.
If I am a college scout, I'm going to look at that kid right now.
Me too.
Well, Coach Wilson was on the other sideline over there. Maybe he's seeing something that he wants to go and recruit Mr. Rodriguez.
Yep. Well, he may need him next year. May need him this year, depending on what happens tomorrow night against Incarnate Word.
That's a pretty big game.
It's much bigger for
down in the dome.
The Cardinals than it is for the Roadrunners. You talk about somebody will get the bird tomorrow. I'll tell you that.
Maybe. Probably. Where do you come up with this stuff?
Via is providing park and ride service to.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
No.
Oh, you have to pay for it?
You have to pay for it.
Oh, isn't that a bummer?
From three locations.
You know what? Seriously, that's the best way to go to a football game downtown.
I think the best way to go is Uber. I don't want to pay, and I don't want my car broken into.
Well, that could be Uber Alles for everybody.
Got a good point. Double wideout set to the left, and here is Shane Johnson in motion going towards the right side with Randall out on the right side as well. Here's Ty Reesner looking over towards Randall, and Randall's running, trying to outrun his man, and it is just thrown way over his head.
Young Mr. Randall certainly got the handle if he is able to get in the clear, because he's got some great hands being a basketball star for the Jaguars as well as for Ron Ritterman's football team. You know, it's a case of these kids, a lot of them are 15 years old. You know, not too many of them are out of diapers, but, you know. only 14 years or so, and so they have to learn, and it's very difficult. They're growing, they're learning, and when you make a mistake, it can cost you, and they'll find that out. Here's, a nice move again.
That kid's got fleet feet, swift moves.
He really does. I'm impressed.
I'm entertained. It's not too often I get to say I'm entertained. Except when I'm hanging out with you, Gary DeLaune, because you entertain me. So it'll be double wide out set to the left. That's Shane Johnson and Elvin Simpson. Isolated on the right is Randall. Here's Simpson in motion. Oh, now he's going back over to the other side. And here's the handoff to Justin Rodriguez up the middle. And Justin Rodriguez does a little spin move.
Man, he gets my vote tonight for all district right now.
He gains the first down. He does the spin move.
9 yards. 151. If you got 150 yards against this Brandeis defense, you are a heck of a ball player, my friends.
I bet you he's got over 100 yards after first contact because the first guy is not knocking him down.
And also, look at it this way. He'd have another 50 if it hadn't been for the penalties.
Yep.
He'd be a 200-yard rusher tonight, right now.
Might have been a different game if not for all the
Now he's in
penalties.
motion. He's going to be worn out tonight.
Ty Reasoner rolling to his right now. And Ty Reasoner's looking. He has nothing, but he's going to run the ball, and he's going to go out of bounds at the 49-yard line.
Tell you what, Reasoner can move, too. These kids are quick as grease lightning.
He actually got the first down. 11-yard gain.
8:36 to play in the ball game. With Madison getting shut out tonight, which was a real stunner by Clemens, of course, which is a pretty good football team.
That game is final 0-28.
28-0, according to Rob. Wow. The Buffaloes were really on the stampede.
Yeah, we knew Madison would fall off a little bit without Dante Higgins, but not like that.
No.
Trip set to the left. Elvin Simpson in motion. Here's Ty Reasoner looking. Now he's running to his left, and he picks up a gain of 4 yards.
Yeah, hanging on for dear life, trying to drag him down over on the left side was Caleb Bronk. And they've used a lot of different players tonight because of the humidity and the heat. And the first game of the year, 8 minutes to go in the game.
And here's Simpson and Randall on the right. Here's Simpson in motion. And now he goes back. Here's Reasoner with the handoff to Justin Rodriguez, and Justin Rodriguez picks up a gain of about 3.5 yards.
He'll be short of the first down, though. He needs another 2.
Needs another 2.
But 2 down territory anyway. 7:40 to play in the ball game. 31-19. 2 missed PATs by the Jaguars,
So
both blocked.
2 of 6 on third downs for the Johnson Jags. It'll be third and about 2.5 yards. Double wide out set to the right with the single set to the left. Reasoner puts Simpson in motion once again. Reasoner takes the snap and hands off to Justin Rodriguez. And Justin Rodriguez does a little jump, hurdle, and I think he made the first down. And yes, he did. I'm telling you, that kid's an athlete.
He just will not take no for an answer.
No. Don't underestimate his size either. So it'll be 6 minutes and 52 seconds left in the fourth quarter. 31-19 as Brandeis leads. Johnson trails. Here's Ty Reasoner putting Simpson in motion. Simpson going back over to the right. Reasoner dropping back to pass. He's got a man, and Shane Johnson is tripped up, and that will be a pass interference.
Yeah, Austin Garcia grabbed Shane Johnson as he was getting beat when that ball was in the air, and 2 flags came out, so that's a 15-yard penalty. Reasoner threw a pretty good ball there, had a good, nice pocket to stand in.
He's 6'1", 180, only a junior. So even looking at the roster, they've got a lot of juniors on this team, and that's why they're going to be much more experienced next year at this time.
Well, Coach Ritteman doesn't let people rebuild. They reload, and he's got a lot of young guys, but you got a guy like Ty Reasoner as a junior. He's got a heart beating in his chest that's big as a brick because he's got this team on his back right now, showing a whole lot more guts. No matter what the scoreboard looks like, he's still out there playing.
There was another Ty, if I recall, that played in San Antonio schoolboy football. 1981, he won the Heisman. Ty Detmer.
Ty Detmer. So it'll be trip set to the right with Reasoner putting Simpson in motion towards the left side. Reasoner with the handoff to Rodriguez, and Rodriguez is almost hit, but then goes around to the other side. He's got space, and he's down to the 11-yard line.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know if that's going to be a clip, but that was an amazing run by Justin Rodriguez.
Man, he's a Harry Houdini when it comes to disappearing. He just can show up when you think he's out and gone. Here he is.
Blocking the back.
That's
They'll take a little
shame.
bit away from him, but, 13-yard run, but I think he probably covered 35 to get that 13 because he just came from one side to the other.
Spot.
How impressive you've been with Justin Rodriguez, Charles Vickers?
He's very impressive. Yeah, he's got a lot of fight in him. Look forward to seeing him the rest of the year.
So Reasoner puts Simpson in motion towards the left side. Now it'll be double wide out set to the left. Reasoner looking to the isolated receiver. That's Shane Johnson in the end zone, but it's just too overthrown. Covering Shane is Aiden Inesta Rodriguez.
Reasoner held the ball a little too long on that one.
Yes, he did.
6 minutes, 3 seconds left on the clock.
Down to 6 minutes.
As we await the play. And now it'll be double wide out set right with the single receiver on the left. And that is Jordan Blass in now on the left. Here's Simpson in motion. Ty Reasoner looking. And he's got a man open. It's caught. And he is wrestled down to the 10-yard line. And making that catch was Sanders, the tight end.
Katera Sanders, 6'1", 205. He's a big load.
It's hard for a big guy like that to hide, but he was able to kind of get hidden in that second level, just slanted over the side, and Reasoner found him for a nice little gain there, set up a goal-to-go situation.
So now it'll be trip set to the left. Rodriguez on Reasoner's left. Here's Simpson in motion. Reasoner takes a snap with the delay of the handoff to Rodriguez, but Rodriguez has that speed. He's getting to the outside, and he's spinning and down at the 4-yard line, or 4.5.
Wow.
That's all Justin Rodriguez there. He was caught in the backfield, wrapped up, and he did not give up and still made a positive gain out of that. That's just keeping your legs moving, not giving up on the play.
Jalen Rainey on a kind of a run blitz there, and Rodriguez made him miss. That was a big gain.
Rodriguez and Reasoner definitely have the team on their back right now. As Reasoner puts Simpson in motion, going towards the left, and here's the handoff to Rodriguez, and he punches in for another gain of 3 yards. With 4 minutes, 30 seconds left on the clock, Johnson might be able to go in on a score. Third down.
Yeah, they're going
2 yards to go.
Two plays to get it here. They're not going to come up short now. And I'd almost tell you it's 2 plays, and both times Justin Rodriguez is going to carry that ball.
What a tremendous young athlete.
So it would be double wide out set to the right. Here's Simpson in motion once again, going towards the left. And Rodriguez gets the ball, of course, and leaps into the end zone. And that's a touchdown for the Johnson Jags. Third touchdown for Justin Rodriguez. What an athlete.
Tremendous performance tonight by Justin Rodriguez. They're going for the PAT now. By the way, Angelo Dundee died on this night in 1921. I rather was born on this date. Angelo Dundee was a trainer for many great boxers and world champions.
As we await the PAT. Oh.
Man, there was a youngster on the defense. He was in there faster than you could have a hanging Chad vote in Florida. Man.
That snap never got back to the holder. Yeah.
They're going to have to work on their PAT.
Yep. 4 minutes to go.
Practice this next coming week.
77 yards and 12 plays. And they preserved as much of the clock as they could.
A 2-yard run by Reasoner is by Justin Rodriguez is his third touchdown of the night. 200 yards on 20 carries. That's easy math. That's even Harleville math there.
Yeah. Say, this is an interesting date. In 1946 on this date, Tug McGraw was born in Martinez, California. He was the father of CMA star Tim McGraw. And he is, of course, married to a beautiful Faith Hill. Tug died in 2004, but he was quite a character.
Yeah, he was estranged from his father for quite a while.
Yes,
and then at the end, they kind of made up.
Yeah, from what I read, he was kind of a strange individual.
I really love this Johnson kickoff.
Another final here from Rob.
Brackenridge defeats Somerset 13-0.
So it'll be Reed Kinney with the kick in the boot. And it is going deep and again going towards the left side, but not going out of bounds this time. And it is picked up at the 6-yard line. And he has space and he is up to the 30-yard line.
28-yard return.
Yeah, Brandeis had their onside prevent kickoff return on there. They didn't even have a returner back there. And one of the returners had to run back to the 10-yard line and pick that ball up because it did not make the end zone.
So now it'll be the Brandeis Broncos with 3 minutes, 57 seconds left on the clock to wind up this game.
You know, actually not a bad crowd tonight for Johnson.
Not at all. There's more people here, but I think
4,725 people.
Good crowd.
It's a good crowd.
4,725.
Here's the snap by Battles, and Battles is going to keep and taking it up, and he has the first down. Pickup of 12 yards by Battles as the clock starts to tick. Both sides are looking pretty exhausted. I would especially think Rodriguez and Reasoner exhausted from running. Holmes is also exhausted. So we double wide out, set to the right, single set to the left. Here's Battles, giving it off to Holmes.
Oh, he almost breaks it
free. That will be his 21st carry of the night.
They're just trying to run out the clock now.
Yes, they are.
They lead by 6. Anything can happen. Let's face it.
So now it'll be 2nd and 4 as the Brandeis Broncos tick off some more time, looking over to their sideline.
2:58. Final for the Rough Riders.
51-14 over Southwest. And I'll just let you know, Southwest was actually ranked number 10 in the city.
In their division, yeah.
Yes.
Here's the handoff to Holmes once again, and he has the first down and more. And he's still on his feet. And he is brought down at the 38-yard line. 2 minutes, 30 seconds left on the clock in the fourth quarter.
Brandeis is not in a hurry once the clock starts.
No, they're not.
Not in a hurry, and Johnson only has 2 timeouts, but I think they make a stop on first down here, they may burn one of them to try and preserve a little bit of that time.
So it'll be Brandeis Broncos going towards the end zone once again. Here's back. Twisting and turning and
spinning
brought
out
down. At the
three players had a shot at him.
Yeah, that's Christian Medina.
Good job of Medina turning it inside, not continuing towards the side. Had a little bit more room towards the sidelines, but then he didn't want to stop the clock.
So young Mr. Battles is about to claim a W in the column for the Broncos. 129 and ticking.
So double wide out, set to the right, single receiver on the left. Here's Battles taking the snap and keeping, and he is putting in an extra burst of energy and is brought down at the 20-yard line.
You can tell the Johnson Jaguars are really getting tired. They're just worn out. These kids have played their hearts out.
And it's also hot, humid.
No, it's also the first game of the year.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't have game shape this early in the season. You may have had two-a-days and run lots of wind sprints, but, you know, beating on somebody for a full 4 quarters, you're going to feel it tomorrow like you've been in a car wreck.
That's 100% true, and you got to build endurance too. So it'll be double wide out, set to the right. Here's the handoff to Medina, and
yeah, with no timeout, that could be. Well, they finally burned one of their timeouts. 35 seconds
35
left.
seconds. Well, you know where we're going to be next Friday night. Old Rock Yard.
I wish I was there, but I'm going to be somewhere else. I'm going to be Friday night. Let's see, we'll be in Atlanta, Georgia on the way to Clemson.
All right.
I got to see the Aggies pull off the upset of the century.
Huh.
I think they got a chance. I really do. They play a murderer's row this year on the schedule. Play Alabama at home. They play at Clemson. They play at Georgia, and they play at LSU.
My goodness.
They could lose 4 games and still be probably one of the top 10 teams in the country, but I think they're going to win at least 2 of those games. I have faith in Jimbo.
Well, I have faith in your predictions.
I also have faith in a former Reagan quarterback by the name of Kellen Mond, who looked
he
really
looked
sharp.
impressive, didn't he?
He's grown up quite a bit. He's taken hits, but he's doing a great job making decisions.
And here's the snap and the handoff to Medina, and Medina's brought down. And
first down, that's it.
That's. Does Johnson still have 1 timeout?
Yeah, but with that first down.
Not much they can do with it.
Yeah.
27 seconds and counting. Been a great ball game for the opener. I've enjoyed it, as I always do. And that's going to be the ball game, my friends. A heck of a contest, the initial game of the 2019 season. The Johnson Jaguars will have to put together a way to stop all these penalties, and the Brandeis Broncos, they have to still chase number 1 ranked Judson if they want to rank the teams in San Antonio. And of course Churchill had a big win last night, shutting out the Clark Cougars, and so it's going to be interesting. Charles is down to do an interview with the great young coach for the Brandeis Broncos, and he got it, I think.
Give me just a minute.
Okay. You hear the repartee. And we're about ready to go. Great young men in both of these instances. They're just tremendous guys and great coaches, and that's what you find normally in high school football. Let's see if Charles has got him yet.
Try and track him down. Coach Branscombe? Can I get a quick word with you? Yes, sir. Initial thoughts on the big win.
I mean, you know the first game of the year when you're playing the Johnson Jaguars, the quality of opponent that you're going to play. And the hardest part about this situation is there's a really good football team that goes away with a loss. And they've got a lot of things to be proud of. And so, you know, we made a ton of mistakes. We shot ourselves in the foot. I was proud of the things that we talked about initially, what I wanted to see from our kids. I thought we started fast. I thought we tried to raise our level of play. And in that, you're going to make some mistakes. So overall, we got a lot of work to do. We had an ignorant penalty with a couple players that can really erode our team if we're not careful. But overall, we played like a Bronco tonight, and I'm proud of their fight.
What are some of the keys to the victory? Obviously, you overcame some mistakes.
I think is that relentless mentality. That's my favorite word, right? Showing or promising no abatement of severity, strength, or pace, just like a Bronco. And that's what we saw tonight because we faced a good football team. We made a ton of mistakes, and we came out and finished the fight.
We're always talking about what kind of adjustments you make at halftime. What did you guys tell your team to readjust?
Honestly, I told them how proud of him I was and what needing to see. Because on paper, we look like we got a good football team, but we hadn't been playing to that caliber. We'd kind of been sitting back and waiting for somebody else to make a play. And the reality of it is they made a decision tonight to go show what they can do. And it's a good thing they did because they faced a great team. And that team's going to go a long way.
All right, congratulations. You're off to a good start.
Appreciate it.
Very gracious winner. And that's David Branscombe, who is a heck of a young coach. Played for Pete Fredenberg up in Mary Hardin Baylor. He learned the rudiments of the game. Of course, his father was a former minister, and you can tell by his demeanor and his attitude that he loves kids, and that's why he's out here coaching tonight. We're going to have some commentary. Walter's got some final stats. Mark's got a few words, and I'm sure Rob Hicks has got some dials to spin. We'll be back. Final score, 31-25, as the very impressive Brandeis Broncos defeat the Johnson Jaguars. You're listening to Frost High School Football. This is GDPSports.
Some people know me by Smitty. Most people call me Mr. Smith. One day I went to Randolph Brooks Federal Credit Union. Ever since that day, I developed a relationship with Randolph Brooks Federal Credit Union that was second to none. I like RBFCU because they create a stress-free environment. It's all about relationships.
Better banking. It's what we do at RBFCU. Join today at rbfcu.org. Membership eligibility required. Rates and terms subject to change.
Play the real estate investment game smarter by putting APIA on your team. They are the secret weapon for investors who own 5 or more rental properties. Their custom-built insurance policy allows investors to place their entire real estate portfolio under one policy with one renewal date. Real estate investors win by saving time and improving their cash flow. Call in the experts today. www.apiaprotects.com or call 877-752-2742.
Back at Hero Stadium with the final score, the Brandeis Broncos 31 and the Johnson Jags 25. Hats off to Charles Vickers being able to get that quick interview with Coach Branscombe, and hats off to Gary DeLaune starting off his 60th year in high school football in the state of Texas. Very, very competitive game tonight. Brandeis came in here heavily favored and able to escape with a 6-point win. Both of these teams are going to make some noise the rest of the year. Brandeis knows they were in a battle. Johnson just came up a little short.
I'll tell you what, there are some stars of the future on these two teams. And we could go down about 6 or 8 kids that are, I think, will be playing Division I schools. And I heard a stat today, I don't know if you heard it or not, that participation in football now is 20% down compared to last year. And I don't know if that's a true stat, but that's what they were saying.
Well, you got a guy like Andrew Luck who's decided to step away from the game. I think sooner or later all this bad press or all this idea that football is bad, I don't want my kids to play kind of stuff is going to take its toll. But I'm sorry. I still think it is the best game on the planet, especially in Texas this late in the season. That's the only thing to do is come out and stand under the Friday night lights, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, and you know, for the last 3 months, I guess since June or July, I've been saying, boy, that first night's going to be a big, big night. And it was. And we select these games. You know, you have to set them up in advance on the calendar, so it's difficult to say, well, who should we do? And what? We've always done a Gucci Bowl, but last night was the 39th time that they've played it. And you and I even figured it up one year. I think you and, well, maybe Gary Newsom, we knew exactly who was leading in the series. 10 games now in a row, the Churchill Chargers have defeated the Clark Cougars. And you weren't down on the field with us, but one of the assistant coaches has a very good friend that's pretty much in the know, and he told us it could be that we may get Clark and Brennan, I think he said, right? Or no, Brandeis. We may get them into this district next year.
Well, that district has got, 10 teams in it? It's bursting at the seams,
Yep.
that 28-6A. I think to play everybody in the district, you get one non-district game, and the rest of your games are against district opponents, and they got to do something. Of course, the realignment is next year.
Yep.
They do it every 2 years, so it'd be interesting to see where some of these teams shake out.
Yeah, and you know, it's difficult to determine anything in this game. It's been a month of just unbearable temperatures and heat and sweat, and now you've got perhaps on the horizon is some better climate. We hope it is, because it's just too hard on these kids. They could lose 6 or 7 pounds in a ball game.
Well, I was saying earlier, you know, the beginning of the season, it's Texas, and you're out here with shorts and T-shirts, and you're still sweating. And the end of the season, if you go into the playoffs at least, you're talking about wearing your leather jacket by the end of the night because of those northerns that start coming in and dropping the temperature.
Yeah, and you know, you could always put them there eye-lettered and bulldogging or something because it scared them to get on the highway. I just don't like the influx of immigrants. I guess we can say that. We just did. But I'm concerned about it, and it could happen. We don't think it could, but it does, and it has in many. And I got a letter from my alma mater last week, and talking about the problems of northeastern Kansas. The young people today are just not aware. They're not aware, and that's what we're trying to get through with Karen Funk at halftime. You know, they have video games, distractions, everything, and so when you see teams like this, you got to give Ron Ritterman and golly darn, he's done such a great job over there, and Coach Branscombe. They are great men, great coaches, and they're going to have a great place when we get to the football field down from Gossamer Avenue, the Lord's Address. So,
well, you know, Gary, these games could be seen as big business, but you got two coaches there that stressed in their interviews, and I'm sure that they stressed to their players, you can't just be a player, you got to be a good person.
Yep.
You heard Coach Branscombe talking about bonehead penalties that they need to take care of. That's, you know, the character that they're trying to instill in these young men. It's more than just a game. It teaches these guys things that they'll learn for the rest of their lives, and they'll practice the rest of their lives.
Well, we didn't even have a trainer when I was playing my senior year of football. And we had to put that tough skin stuff on after you'd shaved your own ankles. So it's you talk about an evolutionary process. And
well, yeah, now you're talking about, what, $80 million stadiums for high schools in North Texas.
Oh, and then where was it? Was it Denton? The one school, they didn't have enough men for a good substitute roster. And so they were begging kids to go out for football. And you didn't have to beg me. I wanted to go out for everything. And that's what makes America go round. And we pray for our country every day. We pray for Mr. Bush and, Mr. Bush too, he needs it. But Mr. Trump, because he has had so much volatile and vitriolic comments made about him. And we've got to pray to the Lord. That's all we can do. But it's been a great night. Wasn't this a wonderful way to start it, even though it was a very miserable beginning with Al Gore's presence here with global warming? But gee whiz, I really enjoyed it. So we want to, I'm sorry, a little editorial comment perhaps. We want to ask you to join us next week again. By the way, for those of you that make it a weekly practice to watch the Saturday show with Bronquita and me on Lone Star Saturday, because of the passing of Jim Cullum, we will not have the show tomorrow, but I think the magnificent Rob Hicks, who came from the sticks and now he's at the mountaintop, the guy knows what he's doing, and he's going to have some kind of a show tomorrow involving, I think, a story of Jim LaVille. Is that right, Rob? And we have an interview that we did with Jim last Friday, as a matter of fact. So we want to thank you for being with us. Thank all of our great sponsors who are going to be sponsoring us for this season. I like this new setup, ladies and gentlemen. It's the first time. I mean, this is an old head here. I don't consume all this. It's so staggering to me to see how we're around the world.
Well, you know, when you started 60 years ago, they had to chisel into the stone.
No, as a matter
of fact,
matter of fact, we had a couple of dinosaurs that we had to really train to be, our mascots. They didn't like it at all. Yeah. And then when Tarzan swung through the trees, we didn't know whether it was going to be, always on the up and up. But when you go out on a limb like that, you can get to the root of the problem pretty easily. So we want you to be back with us next week, and thank you for being here tonight. We've enjoyed it. In case you're watching in London, hey, we want to thank you for watching us, and come back next week, my friends. So here we go, everybody. The final score on this beautiful night on a Friday in August, the last Friday of this month for 2019, 31-25. Speaking for our crew, Mark, Walter, Chase, Rob, Charles, myself, and all the sponsors, thank you for joining us, everybody. We'll be back next week, 7 o'clock airtime, 7:30 kickoff time from the old Rockyard Alamo Stadium for Lee against Brackenridge. From Hero Stadium, have a great Labor Day weekend. God bless you.
Thanks, everybody, for joining the GDP Sports broadcast of tonight's contest, brought to you by our following sponsors. Frost, more than a century of serving Texans, and now in the Frost Tower. Central Builders, the Ehrlich family is dedicated to the construction industry with coast-to-coast projects. The law firm of Thomas J. Henry, open 24 hours with legal experts on call. John Lester's Insure One, providing Texans with home and auto protection. By Randolph Brooks Federal Credit Union, a credit union that puts people before profits. By APIA Connected Investors, Shannon DeLaune, providing insurance for real estate investors. BCFS, a beacon of hope for families around the world. REMAX, by Chris Collins, buying or selling a dream home in the real estate world. GPS of Texas, peace of mind for all drivers with installed tracking devices. Dr. Eric Kuhl, providing that $1 million smile with a future of dental health. By Gridiron Heroes, dedicated to assisting young men suffering from football-related spinal cord injuries. Cherry Hills Baptist Church, where the Lord provides the football field for eternity. By Mecca Sportswear, supplying the leather jacket of pride for your school and sport. Eagle Print, where San Antonians take their printing for quality and satisfaction since 1974. Also brought to you by one name that stands out in the San Antonio rental car business, Budget Car and Truck Rental on Sandow Road just east of 281 North.